welcome to the Bonsai Movie Crew. My name is Madison. I'm your host for this week.
Let her get through it. Shut up.
This is Eric, that's Karen, and that's my dad.
Joseph.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
No neck.
And sorry,
I'm
that's
not just
Eric,
as much a neck
that's
as you.
Karen, and that's No Neck Joseph.
No neck.
Okay, okay.
That's why you gotta do the shave it just right here so it looks like you have a neck. You gotta shave because it kind of like
You shaved
divides.
it so you had like shading.
Yeah, it's like dividing the line between the bottom of your chin and your neck. That way you don't look like you have just like a double chin or whatever.
Like me.
And then you got that's what I'm trying to avoid too.
Yeah.
So
Okay, anyways, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
it's kind of the same way that like women use push-up bras. Makes it look makes their boobs look bigger. Yeah.
I thought they only did that on wedding nights.
No, women use push-up bras all the time.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I don't need them. Mine are just perky.
I don't.
Good job, Dad.
Way too
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Anyways,
I don't like to be uncomfortable.
you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and of course our YouTube, which they're probably watching right now. And
Well, if
you
they're
see
looking
us-
at it, if you're seeing my no neck, then yeah,
Yeah, you're on the YouTube.
you're on the
Um,
YouTube.
Also check out our TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. Please like, comment, and share with your friends. We also have an email if you would like to contact us in that way. It is thebonsaimoviecrew@gmail.com. It's pretty basic. We would love to hear from you.
We're just some basic
Is
bitches.
it basic?
just
Like, were we supposed to dress it up?
Yeah. It should be like the awesome email of the Bonsai Movie Crew. Get fucked at gmail.com.
Kaboom
mean-
noise.
Kaboom!
That's like at the end.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Oh man. Do I tell them what we're going over this week or do I wait?
Let me get through my news first.
All right, do your news then.
Joseph's got some fucking news.
Nerd.
Okay. Fucking nerd. Hold on.
Do we have any news this week?
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Okay.
I got some news.
You always say a little bit and then it always goes on for
It
like
goes
20
on
minutes.
forever. Yeah. It's usually how it works. Let's see here. First off, we're gonna start off with some sad news. Lance Reddick passed away this week.
Yeah.
I'll just read you his Wikipedia here. Lance Solomon Reddick was an American actor and musician. I didn't know he was a musician too. He was best known for playing Cedric Daniels in The Wire, Philip Broyles in Fringe, and Chief Irving on Bosch. In film, he was best known for starring as Sharon. I don't know how to pronounce it. In the John Wick franchise, he was the front receptionist dude. And he was also David Sentry in Angel Has Fallen. He was born in 1962 in Baltimore, Maryland, and he died March 17th, 2023 in Los Angeles, California. They haven't all they said about his death was that it was of natural causes. So I don't know what the hell that means, but he wasn't that old. He'd have been,
I think it was like 60, right?
yeah, he'd have been 61.
Yeah.
So he's not that old. I don't know how he could have passed away, but I don't know. I like the dude. I thought he was a great actor. He also voiced the main dragon in Vox Machina.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So I really like him. Here's a little bit of news for you. I don't know if anybody knows, but they're working on a Good Burger 2.
For real?
Yeah, with Keenan and Kel.
Like the original
I wonder-
people?
Right, 30 years
How's
later.
that going to play out?
I think it's been like
I mean,
30 years,
my watch is a
25
little
years.
slow, but I
Right.
mean,
So, but aside from that, Mystery Men 2, Kel Mitchell wants to make a sequel to 1990s spoof movie.
did they literally use Mystery Men 2 to reference Kel Mitchell?
No, Kel Mitchell wants to make Mystery Men
No, I'm
2.
saying when they said Mystery Men 2's Kel Mitchell.
Yeah, right. Like he was the main character or something.
Like that's what everybody knows him from. 'Cause
Right.
I certainly don't.
I honestly, you have to remind me that
Like
he's
you're
even
saying,
in the movie. Yeah.
Good Burger 2, and then they're saying Kel Mitchell. I would say
Yeah.
Good Burger before I would
Yeah,
say
right,
Kel
right.
Mitchell.
Or
I mean, what
all
the
that,
fuck?
because that's about all he's known
Yeah.
for. And Keenan and Kel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who loves orange soda?
I do. Ooh.
Dude, we were literally saying that like last week or
I know,
something. We were
yeah.
talking about that.
I just saw that they announced the Good Burger 2 just like last week or something.
Wow.
But I don't know. I'll watch that shit.
I probably will
I'm
too.
totally gonna
I'll watch
that.
the second one. Yeah.
So
I don't care how old he is.
Right.
If he's still talking like that, and selling burgers.
The superhero spoof was a box office disaster in 1999, but has gathered a cult following since then. I've always loved the movie. I've always
Mystery
loved
Man's
the movie.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Kel Mitchell wants to bring the 1999's cult superhero spoof Mystery Men back for a sequel, and the star even has a story pitch cooking. It might sound unlikely to give a box office bomb a sequel, but since Mitchell and Kenan Thompson recently announced they are working on Good Burger 2, the timing seems right to resurrect another beloved 90s IP. Honestly, if they did a Mystery Men 2, I bet that it would...
I would be down for that.
I think it would do like way better than the first movie.
Oh, yeah, because the cult following for the first
Exactly.
one now.
So I would totally...
He was the invisible kid in the first one, right? Kel?
Yeah,
Kel
he was invisible.
But he couldn't really be invisible.
He was invisible.
Really...
No.
He did go invisible.
Oh, yeah, he did go invisible.
He could only go
once.
invisible whenever nobody was looking.
Yeah.
And it showed him going invisible whenever
Yeah, when nobody
was
was looking. Yeah, you're right.
It's funny. Last thing I got here, Cheech and Chong biopic in development. The story of legendary stoner comedy team Cheech and Chong is coming to the big screen. Hidden Pictures has a biopic of the duo. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biopic. It's the same thing.
When
biopic.
you said biopic, I'm like, what the fuck is a biopic?
Biopic.
But
I mean, you
kept
could call it
reading
whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Spelled the same way.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
See, now I lost my place. Hidden Pictures of a biopic of the duo in the works from director Christian Mercado. Sure. Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong have reunited to produce a movie depicting their early years as a comedy duo and their rise to Hollywood success. Honestly, I think it's great that if they're going to do a biopic, they're going to do it with them behind it saying, no, this is how it went. Kind of like how they did Straight Outta Compton with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, and I think some of, obviously they're going to embellish a little bit of it, but
Sure.
I think for the most part it could be, and hopefully they stick with the kind of, either they do it like that or they do it the way that Weird Al did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the Weird Al thing was fucking
That
great.
was great. Yeah.
Like the way he just like over centralized everything.
Oh,
everything
yeah.
was like, it was good. I like that.
The whole Madonna thing, that was the best. Sorry.
Right. But that's all I got for news this week, as far as I know. That's it.
What the hell have you been watching?
Yep. All right. What have you guys been watching this week? Like, Eric?
So I've watched a little bit of that Razzle Dazzle. I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. Started watching Black Adam. About halfway through that one. I finished The Last of Us.
Already?
Yeah,
Damn.
I told you I binge watched
He
the
fucking
shit.
did. He did binge watch the shit out of it.
I
What you
didn't,
think?
I didn't even watch Vikings. I just binge watched The Last of Us.
Whoa.
Really?
He's taking our advice and watching something new.
Um,
And now he's going to binge watch the shit out of this again.
Yeah, that's why I tell you about when I go to watch a show, I wait till a couple seasons later so that way I can.
Just binge watch it all. I've done that before.
What do I think about it? I liked it.
You gonna watch it again? Like
the ending
Vikings?
was kind of predictable.
What do you mean? Well, hold on. No.
I can't.
Shut up.
I can't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was predictable. Let's put it that way. For me,
A little bit, yeah.
like I knew how it was going to play out.
I knew the end of the game, so the end of the show was kind of like, well,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, like I said, I predicted how it was going to
They're
play
coming
out.
out with season 2, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say there's.
Oh, for sure. The show did too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did way too good.
Are there gonna be any more like games, or are the games done?
I don't know. They have 2 games.
Yeah, I say there's 2 of them.
Honestly, it doesn't matter about the games because the writer of the series is the one who's behind the show too. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh.
which is honestly the best way. Nobody can complain about it. Like, oh
Yeah,
man, you gotta follow
do.
the source material. Like, dude, the fucking creator's on set saying
Yeah.
this is how I want it done.
Yeah.
Like, that's like George R. R. Martin being on set of Game of Thrones for 7 seasons or whatever, and he's like, this is how I want it done. They're like, okay, like, what are they gonna say?
Did they get angry after he wasn't on set?
Yeah, because then it went downhill. Because then we got season 8, and it was a piece of shit. It's not
Oh.
anything what we wanted.
Well, why'd he leave?
I don't know. He always tries to leave and claims, oh, I'm gonna go write the last book, and he's all that's been like 100 years ago.
Oh,
So
well, that sucks.
yeah, the fucker's gonna die before he gets the book done. Fucking cocksucker.
I mean, tell us how you really feel.
George R. R. Martin's a piece of shit.
What about you, Karen? Are you done, Eric?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Karen?
Well, I've been wanting to watch this for a while, but I started The Chosen. That's that Jesus show. So-
Well, no.
And then
Well, I am in it, so.
No neck Joseph.
Oh, I had a beard then.
Oh.
Yeah, you shaved it now that your part's done. I watched that Razzle Dazzle. The coronavirus link was probably my favorite part. I don't know why. That was hilarious.
The coronavirus. Oh, the link. Yeah, that was good shit.
That was hilarious.
That he sent to his wife got.
Yeah.
That shit was great.
And then I watched Girl in the Picture. That was a
Like the rap
dude that like kidnapped a girl.
That was a good one. The raffle tickets. Was good.
That was good too.
The king is here.
Yeah. Dude kidnapped a girl, raised her. It was a fucked up story.
What was it?
Girl in the Picture. It's on Netflix.
Oh yeah. I think How old is that?
I don't remember.
If it's
I've-
is it
I've
the one where
seen
he
it.
kidnaps the girl
Like
and
that,
she
yeah.
becomes like attached to him and
Yeah, they like get
Oh.
married later or whatever, but she thinks that's her dad, so it's a really fucked up story.
I don't know, maybe it's not the one I'm thinking of.
No, it's a really fucked up story.
I don't. We started. Well, I'll get to it.
Memories of a Murderer. That's the Nilsson tapes. I finally finished that
Yeah.
one. I started it and I finally finished it. Shape of Water.
I love that movie.
I did not care for it.
You don't like it?
Nope.
That's my favorite Guillermo del Toro. That's actually one of my favorite movies.
I really did not care for it at all. I watched Shivers. It's a Cronenberg movie. The Jim Bob movie this week was Castle Freak.
Oh my god.
You don't like that movie?
No, I've watched that Jim Bob episode,
Yeah.
Castle Freak,
Yeah.
and no, I think the movie's fine.
Oh, you
Um,
just didn't like the.
I just think like him, like I'm like wanting to get back to the movie, and it's just every time.
I love him.
every time it go to him. I'm like, dude,
Okay, so
you're
what's
turning an hour and a half movie into a 2.5 hour movie.
But what's your opinion? This is the second time I've seen Castle Freak, but what's your opinion on Jeffrey Combs' acting in that movie?
I don't think he does that bad, but he's like, I think he overdoes it a little bit.
I don't agree. I think that's his best acting because it
think?
actually shows him giving emotional range.
That's true, I guess, instead of just being crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It shows him as like an actual.
Yeah, that's true.
human
Yeah,
being.
because he's an alcoholic and everything
It
else.
shows him
and-
as an actual human being.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I think that's some of
Castle
his
Freak, that
best
fucking
acting.
movie's kind of messed up.
It's really fucking messed up, but I like it.
It's not bad.
Jeremiah had never seen it, so
That
his
was the first time I had ever seen it.
yeah,
too.
I really liked it. The first time I watched it, and I liked it this time. But
Yeah.
I always like to point to that movie when people say that Jeffrey Combs is just like an over the top shitty actor, and I'm like, no,
I
no,
wouldn't
he's
say
not.
that. No,
He's
I,
not.
I think he's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
I
And
heard
that-
he's a super nice dude.
yeah, and unfortunately, it's this kind of a movie that really shows a good actor, and
Mhm.
I don't want to show.
And it's like a movie that.
yeah,
like,
it's not a movie that I
I
would
think-
recommend
like, I
to just
know that, like,
anybody.
What's her name? Barbara
Barbara Crampton. Yeah,
She said that they were like living in the castle while
Yeah.
shooting,
yeah.
and because it was the director or the
And
producer's
the producer's second home.
second home or some
Yeah.
shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I don't know. It's one of those movies. Like I wouldn't just recommend it to anybody to watch, but it's
Yeah.
unfortunate because it actually shows he's got some fucking chops.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. I like it.
Yeah. Naked Gun 2.5, because apparently that's what we do on Sundays. And The Staircase. I started that a while back, and I
The documentary.
yeah, I
Yeah, we
finally got
watched that
back
one.
into that. I haven't finished it yet. but
It's
I did
good.
fin-
It's real good. Then they
Yeah.
got the movie or the show, and we started watching that. We stopped like one episode in and was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, no, the,
Like, because it was definitely embellishing a lot of the crap. I'm like, you just watch the fucking documentary. It's better.
And I
Like-
I want to see the documentary, and that's what I started. I had episode 1, and like I was scrolling through, and I'm like, I started this. Well,
It's
shit.
good.
So
It's
I
real
went
good.
back. And I'm
It's
watching
definitely
it
something that
again.
you're like, I can't believe this is the shit that they let. Like, he pretty much got away with it if he did do it. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to tell, really.
It is, because there's a lot of like,
It's so plausible either way.
yeah, it is, but at the same time you're like, but really
But
though,
he's snake. Like he's a snake.
he's very snaky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, I don't know.
But you can't.
But even like her
obviously-
kids were on his side.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
you
I'm
can't
like, I
really
don't know.
convict on character,
Right.
and that's really all they had.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
it's good though.
I still want to.
I recommend if you haven't seen it to watch
Yeah,
it. It's good.
So far, I mean, I already knew the outcome. I knew the story, but I still wanted to
Yeah.
watch the documentary. So I'm back on that, and that's it. That's all I got.
What about you, Dad?
We watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince because we're still doing that. We've got 2 more to go.
You have to watch the last 2 with me. You can't leave me out of
This
these
is why we
2.
haven't watched them yet.
You're hooked into them now, huh?
We
I've
watched.
been in the Harry Potter since I was a kid.
We started watching The Ripper, the series on Netflix. We're 1 episode into that, and I'm pretty interested in that. It's essentially about another Jack the Ripper store thing from in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, early mid to late 70s, and essentially he's killing prostitutes and shit like that. But so we started that last night. We watched Cocaine Bear, which was not as great as I wanted it to be, but it was still very good. It was entertaining, it was funny, and it had some good gory moments. And it was pleasantly done in a way that was like, it was done in a way that was like, the gore was good when it needed to be good. Hey, I'm talking over here. Fuck
I
you,
know.
fucking kids. You're grounded.
Listen, he started it.
She
I will
sneezed
split
at-
you two
Am I
up.
a good kid?
I went like this.
She sneezed at me.
I was trying to be nice, and I went like this. Next time, I'll just sneeze all over him.
I'm the good kid. for
God
once.
damn it. We also Cocaine Bear. I'd recommend it. I'd recommend people check it out. It's a good movie.
I'm
It's
gonna
not.
give
It wasn't
away.
as bonkers as I wanted it to be. You know, if you think about it, cocaine. It's in the name, Cocaine Bear. It's not even like it's based off of like actual. It's not based off of actual events. They took a story and
They
fucking
took
blew
several
it up.
liberties.
yeah, a lot of liberties with the story. So if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make a movie that's like completely bonkers. We watched a movie called Unwelcome with I don't know their names, I guess, but it's about like this London couple that moved to Ireland because the man inherits his aunt's house after she passes away, and behind the house is woods with a door, and behind that door is a bunch of leprechauns, elves, gnomes. I don't know. They're like little creepy,
Little people.
like they're little like. The only way to goblins is what they look like, really, to me. But they all live behind there, and they have to give them a blood sacrifice every night. But it's not like, but it's usually just like some liver or something like that.
Can it be like animals and stuff?
Yeah, animals, whatever. So the movie was like, it starts out kind of slow, but it still it held my interest through the whole movie. It's one of those movies that's like,
Like a slow burn.
no, not really, no,
No?
because you don't see one of these things until like over halfway into the movie, and then but whenever you do, it's like worth the wait. You know, it's one of those things. So the movie looked great. It was like very, very vibrant, you know, in certain. But then some of the lighting in some of the areas of the movie was like shitty. Like it was dark, and it was like you could tell it was dark, but you know how you get like that oversaturation in dark coloring,
Mhm.
and like it just looks blotchy.
Mhm.
That's what this movie. That's how it was, and I hated that in the dark scenes.
Yeah.
It's hard though to do that.
It is hard,
right.
and the coolest things about the creatures is, for one, they're not like you're like, oh my god, they're gonna be terrifying. They're not terrifying. They are in a way at first, but then once you see them and they're on screen for a little bit, you're like, they're kind of fucking, you know, like they were fun to watch because they were goofy,
Like
and they were like
ghoulies. That's what it sounds like.
sort of.
That makes me
Sort
think of Muppet Master.
Puppet Master.
Yeah,
Kind of like
yeah,
Puppet Master. I would give it more like a Puppet
Muppet
Master.
Master.
Yeah.
Or like Gremlins, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
They're not like
Well, they're all kind of the
slapsticky.
same, right? Like Ghoulies,
Yeah, right.
Puppet
They're not
Master, like-
slapsticky though. It's more like
You're not great at describing.
I know it's hard, but like if you watch the movie, you're gonna understand. But it's funny because like I couldn't tell if they were CG or if they were little people in makeup, because like if they are in makeup, the makeup looks fucking fantastic. But then the CG, you're like I can't tell if it's CG or not.
God, it almost sounds like what was that movie? It sounds like a Guillermo del Toro movie, but I don't think it was. Where like the little girl moves into this house and there's like these little creatures that live in the basement or something.
Oh, it is a
Like,
it's not. He produced it. It's called
Yeah,
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah,
I have that one actually.
yeah,
On
I
Blu-ray.
do too.
It's a good movie. It's
Yeah,
sort of like
that's what
that,
it sounds
but
like.
those you could tell were CG.
Yeah,
Oh
see,
yeah, for
Like
sure.
in
Pretty
this,
good,
like
yeah.
I couldn't tell if they were CG, if they were like little people.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
So,
that's gotta be.
But
some
because
good
they were
CG
tiny,
there.
they were only like this big. You know, they were like about that tall, but they don't look like little people. They look
But
like
they can do like force. When I'm saying those, like for they can do like force. What the hell do they call that? Where they put like big things next to.
right.
You know what I mean?
It's like you throwing the perception.
Yeah,
off.
force perception. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a good movie. I would definitely recommend it. And honestly, if I ever find it on Blu-ray, I'll probably buy it because it was one of those horror movies that I was like, this is kind of entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the acting was good. I think that like it kept me interested through the whole movie. And last but not least, we went and watched Scream 6 in theaters.
Without me.
Oh my god, get over yourself. We went and watched Scream
Give him
6
hell.
I
in
know.
theater, and this is what I'm
a
just
meh.
yeah, it's a meh. Like it wasn't.
It's a Scream movie.
It's a Scream movie, and
It's a
I
Scream
would
movie.
love
I
after the
predicted
third.
it halfway in. I predicted the killers halfway in. I called most of the movie. It's just another Scream movie, and I was like, the setting was cool, but then it's like taking place around Halloween, and I'm like, why wouldn't they just? Okay, for one, take another look at your script, and then push back the release date to October around Halloween, when Halloween is, since your movie takes place during Halloween. And do that, like, because October release date for a horror movie like Scream, that is also centered around currently in this movie around Halloween. Just do it during Halloween and
Maybe-
take another look at your script.
would've got
Maybe
more
they didn't
money
have
out
enough
of it
faith
then.
in their script.
No, they were just trying to pump it out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I know that's what it is. It's a fucking cash grab, and this is why this whole franchise is going to go in the shitter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they didn't have enough faith in their script to go up against other horror movies.
Maybe that's a good possibility, but
That's what because if it's a cash grab, they're going to go out as soon as possible because they
yeah,
don't. They
because
don't
they're
think,
like, let's get it out
they
there.
don't think that their movie can stand up against other horror movies that are going to come out at Halloween with purpose.
Right. That's understandable, but it like I don't know. I don't want to give too much away because a lot of people haven't seen the movie. But
Yeah, I don't think you can give too much away because it's. I'm gonna shut up. I'm
Well,
so
I mean,
cynical about this fucking shit.
I'm
we're
over it, dude.
against Scream,
Like
so
if they
it's-
stop
was
making
over- I've
Scream
been
movies, I'd be
over it.
okay with it. So I'm over it. I don't want. I want them to. I don't even know how they could even conclude this series at this point. Like
they
how
had
do you
a
conclude
great
this?
conclusion.
Yeah.
They had a great conclusion, and they could have been done.
That could have been done fucking
after 3.
after 3, honestly.
Could've
But then
been
they had to
after
go
the
and do
first
4
one.
for whatever. Don't get me wrong, Wes Craven did it, cool. But then
And that's
like
the only reason I watched.
that's the only reason to watch it. But I wasn't that enthused about 4.
No, I wasn't either.
Like honestly, and then 5 was okay.
I understood why he did it though, like as the kind of like that final nail in the coffin,
Yeah.
because like, oh, you're going beyond a trilogy, you know,
Yeah.
it sort of went with the whole thing, but still, like, I don't know.
Yeah. And the sad part is with these movies, they've got pretty much people who have plot armor. Nobody's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
I hated about this movie. I'm like, nobody fucking died.
Yeah.
Some of the kills were cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of the kills were cool. And they had good ideas. Like the first, like, you know how they always open the movies up with a kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was cool. I like what they did there with that. And then, but like, at this point, I just, I'm over it, dude.
I mean, it's fine to have cool kills in a movie and stuff because like some of the Jason movies had great kills.
right.
But you can't base an entire movie on the kills. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it drives me nuts.
Yeah, and I it's brutal. It's a lot more brutal than the other ones were before. But I think with these movies, they need to go with a hard R. Like if like okay, so there
Almost
I'm sure everybody's seen
17.
the scene where the Ghostface has the shotgun. Dude, they could have it was
in
in
the
the
trailer.
previews. It's in the trailer.
Was it?
He's in
Yeah.
a convenience store.
Oh yeah.
And he shoots a guy with the shotgun, dude, but they don't show it. Show that shit. I want
Yeah.
to see you put a hole in that motherfucker. Like I want to
Fucking-
see that.
Yeah.
Like at least make the kills worth it, you know?
Maybe they didn't have the budget to put that
Be like
in.
Driver, where did you see?
It's Scream. They have the budget.
If it's a cash grab, though.
I don't know. Anyway, I won't be too critical of it. I'm sure some people fucking liked it, but I didn't care for it. I didn't care
mean-
for it. Sorry. I don't care for it. I'm done with the Scream movies. I will keep watching them, but I don't want to keep. I don't want you to keep making them. I want you to stop making Scream movies.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I'm done.
That new
You
Evil
can't
Dead movie
entice
that
me to
came
watch
out,
anymore.
Evil Dead Rise. I
Yeah.
heard it's doing really
Yeah,
well.
I heard it's like 100%.
Oh yeah.
I wanna watch
I
that.
want to see that.
I do
yeah.
want to see that.
And the
really
only
bad.
reason that I think those are still doing well is because they're not trying to adhere to any strict formula and say like it has to be Ash, and
Right.
it has to be this.
Well,
and it
the
has
thing
to,
about the new Scream movie is they pretty much throw a lot of the movie tropes out the window. They're like, the first thing they say is "fuck the movies," and that's what right before the Ghostface kills somebody. He said, "They're like, but in the movies, this," and he's like, who gives a shit about the movies? And then he shoots. I'm like, yeah. So you're throwing the movie shit out the window. It's just gonna be a straight up slasher, no rules. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
what I was hoping for.
yeah,
That's not what happened.
sure.
That's not what happened. So I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Let
You guys, yeah, I was very let down. Which I knew that going in. I'm like, there's no way this is gonna be a good movie. They just the other one just came out a year ago. There's no way this is gonna be good. Like they're just pumping them out at this point.
Yeah.
And if Wes Craven was here now, he would probably be very disappointed in his family for selling off the fucking rights.
Yes.
So he'd probably be like, "What the hell, man? Like you guys are ruining my baby," you know. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's all.
It's probably a good
Okay.
thing that the Nightmare series, when they tried to reboot that, it did badly because I'm sure he'd probably jump out of his grave.
It's
for
only
that
it's
one if
only
it
a
was
matter
still
of time
going.
before that comes back because I know that they've really been trying. They're pushing
The
for.
only one that could do it
Mike
is Kevin
Flanagan.
Bacon.
They want Mike Flanagan to go in and do it. I'm like, but Mike Flanagan, yeah, he's a good director and stuff, but he's very tamed down. He's not. I don't think he's what I would want for a Nightmare on Elm Street director. You know what I mean? I don't see it.
Yeah, and I think that the only person that could do it beside Robert is Kevin Bacon.
And that'd be so funny because he was already part of the first Friday the 13th, and
Yeah.
so that would
Yeah,
be
but
interesting.
he got his ass killed.
Yeah.
I think he would.
That's because he had sex. It was one
Yeah,
of the,
right.
the main
Right, you
rules.
can't do
that.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
I don't. I mean, maybe he might, or just bring
He has
Robert
the
Englund
charisma.
back.
He has the crazy. Yeah, Robert doesn't. He's got old. He's can't run and move like he used to, and
True. I don't know. We'll
he
see.
doesn't want to do it anymore.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know I got that Crystal Lake series coming out on I think on Peacock or something,
Something like that.
and that'll be interesting to see because they don't have
I wanna
te-
see
they
how
don't
they-
technically
they-
have the rights to. I think it's either Jason or the Friday the 13th
Yeah.
because they're two separate entities. So, and I think it's Jason they don't have the rights to. So, like,
I'd like to see how they incorporate everything.
it's
into
gonna
it.
be a lot of like
They fill in some of them plot holes.
well,
that'd be
there
nice.
it's gonna be a lot of
There's no way
The
they
camp-
can do it without making more plot
yeah,
holes.
it's gonna be a lot of just about the counselors and Jason as a child and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I just think it's gonna be kind of boring. Like, how could they make this interesting? Nothing interesting was interesting about the show until Jason drowned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and then like, what are they gonna?
Unless she's like unless she was crazy before Jason died.
well, she had to have been.
I mean,
you
like
know?
helicopter mom from hell. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, but I don't know how you make. I don't know. I'm not trying to give him help.
I don't know, man. I don't. But then again, Friday the 13th just ain't that interesting to me. So sorry,
I'm with
Eric.
ya.
Screw you both.
I'm sorry.
It's just not interesting.
I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you guys. Like the movies, they're okay. But what I like the most about it is the kills.
I still have
just
PTSD.
How brutal he was, and his sheer strength.
Right. Yeah, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's pretty like Jason Goes Manhattan. He literally punches a guy's head off.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking retarded, but it's great.
Where
You know what I
he-
mean? Like,
he takes a spear and goes through people's chests when they're laying together. You know what I mean? Hell,
Blurry?
Freddy versus Jason
Can't
when
tell.
he takes the dude.
it's all right, I think.
It's fine.
When he takes that dude, he sticks that spear into his chest, and then he takes that bed and smashes him in
Yeah.
two. I mean, I don't know. I love how brutal
Sometimes he
is.
did. He's got some good kills. Like, I think Jason Takes Manhattan's got some of the best kills. He like grabs that fucking steam rock and then shoves it into that guy's stomach.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway, that's all.
Okay, I've been watching Walking Dead. We watched Cocaine Bear. I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Super with Jackson this week. I also started watching The Last of Us. I only got to like episode 4. I watched Diary of a Wimpy Kid with Jackson too. I watched Stranger Things, and then I went on a Katy Perry rampage and started watching a bunch of her music videos.
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Jason and Freddy. She's like, Katy Perry.
I used to watch her music videos all the time as a kid. I figured I could just watch them again.
Does she know that she's still a kid?
I mean, like a little kid, like 5 or 6.
A little person.
A little person.
I
Yeah.
always thought Katy Perry was hot. So
So do I. Well, so do I.
She's weird though. She's gotten
She
really
is.
fucking weird.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she has.
No, she hasn't. She has a kid.
That
Good
doesn't
for
matter.
That doesn't
Don't-
mean anything.
Yeah, it
Madonna's
does.
got
You
kids.
can be fucking weird and have
Yeah,
kids.
Madonna's
Cher has
weird.
kids. They're
You know
still
what?
fucking
Katy
weird.
Perry's not weird. Okay.
isn't Cher dating a young guy now?
Probably.
Sure.
Have you seen Madonna lately? She looks like I don't know, like they ran her through a fucking Barbie factory, dude. And she just got filled full of plastic.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
She looks gross, man.
yeah, she's doing some things.
She used to be hot, even at like 50. She was hot,
Yeah.
and then like
Out
she
of
just
nowhere.
got all this work done. I'm like, oh, dude, like
she looks.
what happened
She
to
looks
you?
like she's melting.
Yeah, like what happened to your face? It's all bloated.
Yeah.
But then again, Zac Efron did the same thing. I'm like, dude, you were a good-looking guy
No
before.
shit, no
like
shit.
now you look weird.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Now he
People
looks
need
like
to-
a Ken doll
people
that
need to
got
understand,
Kinda,
like
yeah.
the when they revamped Ken doll in
Yeah.
the 90s or
He
whatever.
looks so
natural
fucking weird, yeah.
is-
Yeah, I hate that when people don't stick to their natural.
Yeah.
The only person that it was ever okay for was like was it Kurt Russell's wife, Goldie Hawn. She gets work done, and that's okay because that's Goldie Hawn. She's been doing it for so long that that's just
she
how
definitely
she looks.
has, because you could tell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's been doing it for so long that's just how she looks. So
I
whatever.
can tell whenever these actresses get work done, and I'm like, oh my god.
Why would you go
Yeah.
that
Right?
far?
Why would like
No, I'm just saying she's been doing it for so long that that's just how I've gotten
Sandra
used to her
Bullock?
looking.
She's got it a bunch of shit done, and she just looks weird. Her mouth looks like it can barely move.
I think it would be
She
different
doesn't
if
get
Goldie
done
Hawn didn't
too
do
much,
it.
though, I don't
And
think.
like you didn't get used to her seeing her that way. Like if she was just aging and then all of a sudden decided to get it done. Like
Right.
she's been doing it for so long that that's just how I'm used to seeing her.
I
See what I'm
guess,
saying?
Man. I don't know. They just look weird. They need to stop.
Oh, I don't disagree. I think you should just age naturally, but
Agreed.
Let's talk about the movie.
Anyway,
I don't have the money
Right.
for it either, so
This week's movie was The Terminator from 1984. It is rated R, and its runtime is an hour and 47 minutes. It's about its synopsis says it's about a human soldier is sent from 2029 to 1984 to stop an almost indestructible cyborg killing machine sent from the same year, which has been programmed to execute a young woman whose unborn son is the key to humanity's future salvation. It's directed by James Cameron. The writers are James Cameron, Gail and Hurd, and William Wisher. The cast is Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
and Linda
Schwarzenegger.
Hamilton and Michael Bain. Who knows?
Honestly,
I'm pretty sure it's like Bane.
I think it's Bane, but it's so weird because I've always pronounced it Bean.
Bean.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's however.
And
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah. Let's talk about the movie. Okay.
Would you recommend? Would you rewatch? Recommend?
Duh. Would you rewatch or recommend?
100% yes. I have it. I owned it on Blu-ray forever, and I love
Yes
the
and
movie.
yes. I've seen this movie 1,000
Can't go wrong
times.
with the Terminator.
No, no.
I
Fucking
mean,
love this
I don't
movie.
really have to recommend it to anybody. Everybody knows what it is. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we drew
But
this
would
one.
you? That's the question.
Yeah, would you?
Would you? I mean, if they haven't seen it, then I'd be like, yeah, you have to watch it. I mean, why not?
Would you rewatch it?
No.
No, no, I wouldn't.
Get out.
No, I mean, like,
She's
it's
not-
not
she's-
that I don't like
No.
it. I just.
You've seen
This
it,
is a
you've
movie
had
that's like
your fill.
old. You know what I mean? So
I get
she's
it.
she's like, yeah, it's good, I guess. I wouldn't rewatch it. Whereas we're like, yeah, I grew up on this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So-
it's
Nostalgia.
just as much a good movie as it is nostalgia for us.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
I
it.
mean, like,
Exactly.
if Dad were to die tomorrow and the boys haven't seen like the Terminator, I'd be like, you guys have to watch this in his memory.
Why do I have to be dead to just watch the movie? Like, just go watch the movie.
It's just a thought.
Oh, you've never seen this? Dad loves this movie. Just watch it. Good thing he's alive and healthy. So we can go tell him all about it tomorrow. You know?
We can tell you about it whenever you're dead too.
Sure.
We just have to visit.
As long
the
as I'm
graveyard.
dead. Though,
Boy,
I
it just
guess.
got real,
Yeah.
real dark.
Real dark.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Good thing I
That
sleep with a
effect.
shotgun next to my bed. It ain't to protect against intruders. It's to protect against my kids.
Oh man. Okay, now let's talk about the movie.
So the best part about Terminator Salvation was a young Anton Yelkin playing Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps when he said, "Come with me if you want to live," as Kyle Reese in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like when he said that, I was like, "I know who you are."
I know who you are.
I was like, "That's amazing," and it was like the only good part of the movie was him being Kyle Reese. I miss him so much. He was such a good actor.
Michael Bain was like big around this time because he did
Yeah.
this and then he did Aliens. And he was a little bit. He was kind of big.
He was
back
everywhere
then.
for a while.
Now you don't hardly hear of him anymore.
No.
And I think the last thing I watched was called a movie called The Divide, about a nuclear holocaust and all trapped in a bunker.
Yeah.
And that was a good movie.
Yeah.
And he played crazy really well in that.
Yeah, because we talked about that when I talked about Thread.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was definitely 80s acting. Very short dialogues. Like
Yeah,
whenever they-
Well, that's just
This
James
is-
Cameron.
that's
though.
what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
yeah. I was gonna say,
James
that's more,
Cameron
that's more
isn't
James
known for
Cameron
his
thing.
dialogue, man.
Yeah.
He's just like, I want to make a great action flick.
Mhm.
You know? Like,
Well,
this
I
is-
mean, in a lot of 80s movies, you'd always see they always have like short dialogue conversations. You know?
Yeah.
They were always just short.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. and-
Good.
there are no
Good.
Tarantino movies back then where it was
Yeah.
like all about the dialogue.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Sometimes too much in those fucking movies. You're like, can we move on?
Sometimes, yeah, you're
Oh
like,
my
what is
God.
the point?
I'm done talking about fucking McDonald's sandwiches.
Yeah,
Can we
like-
move on?
Why do they call it a Big Mac? Like, who gives a shit?
Okay, but name a movie with a better like theme or
Than
like
Terminator?
score. Yeah,
No shit, dude.
that that sets
dun,
that
dun,
mood,
dun, dun.
Yeah.
that sets that
Dun, dun,
tone.
dun, dun,
Like
dun.
you
Oh, the
can't,
songs?
You
I wrote
can't.
that down. The songs were really good.
like you can't name a movie with
Yeah,
a better
has
like
some really good score.
score.
because it just
'Cause
gets you
it-
kind of pumped. You're
It
like,
doesn't matter if it's the theme or like the
Yeah.
score throughout the movie. It's setting the tone like for every scene
they
you're
revamp
watching.
it a little bit for the
Yeah,
second
they-
one.
Oh,
and
yeah,
make
yeah.
it better. It's
Well,
like
it's a little more bassy. It like
Right,
kind of
yeah.
hits you a little
Yeah,
harder.
yeah.
Yeah. This was a little more, synthesized because it was, definitely more 80s tone, but
right.
they both set the tone for that movie,
Yeah.
But yeah,
And it's funny because like there was that one part where he's because this movie is very much a product of his time.
for sure.
Like Bill Paxton's in it for like
Yeah, the only actor to ever go against a Predator, a Terminator,
yeah,
and the
and an
Aliens.
Alien, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else has he been in. Well, he was in Near Dark.
Oh yeah, he was in a lot of
He was a vampire.
Frailty. That's got to be
Frailty
one
was
of my favorite.
amazing.
Oh, I love that movie.
But and then also
He made that movie though too. He like directed it and wrote it and
what,
everything.
Frailty. I
Mhm.
believe that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
But also
If anybody's not seen Frailty, you should.
for sure, yeah.
Amazing movie.
So there's so first off, like right at the beginning, full on Arnold. Did anybody catch the dong?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
first time
He-
too. I've ever noticed.
I
It.
never noticed it before
I
either.
never noticed that.
But I
could
was
see
kind of
his-
looking for it. I was like,
You
hold on,
were.
he's butt ass naked. I was like, I wonder if
Oh.
he's like, no, he's just his dong's out.
Well, I think it's because okay, I've had this on Blu-ray since I don't know how long, forever, but I've never we took the cellophane off. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
me
Like,
too.
And
Yeah.
so like, you know,
you have the
but
red
it's,
one?
It's I think so.
I
But
got
it's
the red
like
one with the pictures and
it's
stuff inside it.
remastered, right? So like
Yeah.
it's clearer, it's
Yeah.
crisper. So like when we watched this before, it wasn't that clear.
I
you
think
know?
James
So
Cameron was like, "Oh, that's all right. You
let's
can go
make sure
naked.
we
Nobody's
can
ever
see.
gonna see that little
yeah,
thing."
exactly. So it's like, oh, so just hang it out, man. Nobody's gonna see it, and now they've gotten it so crisp and clear. You're like,
I don't know.
I can see it.
Like
I
you
watched
can
it on
you can
HBO
barely
Max.
see it, but
You
it's
can-
there.
it's
He's
definitely
walking
there, yeah.
towards like
you
the
see
pumps,
it. You see it go.
and you see
Yeah,
it. You
you
see
can
it
see it.
swing.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
can
holy
see it.
shit, that's Arnold Dong.
Yeah, you can see it
How do you
swinging.
think those kids felt like with him walking up to them like that?
Bill Paxton, he's probably laughing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he probably
died.
was. I'm
Yeah.
sure he was, because that was Weird Science days.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So
They're probably
Kyle,
making jokes the whole time.
Kyle, right at the beginning, you know, he comes in naked just like Arnold does, and he steals like a homeless dude's pants.
Hold on, I want to. So Arnold comes in full dong.
Yeah.
Michael Biehn comes in. There's a shot where you can see what he's wearing. Because he's not naked.
Right.
Like he is for the scene that they show his whole body.
Right.
But whenever they cut to his front part,
Yeah,
you can see
he's got,
like some kind of
those-
clothing that he's
Yeah,
wearing.
they have those like it's like a cod piece or whatever, but
Yeah,
like
it's to make it like
yeah,
look kind of fleshy.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I was like, oh, you can totally see that. Like they didn't
Yeah.
catch that in post
Right,
There's,
production.
there's
right.
a lot of things that I was going to point
But that
out.
could have something to do with the aspect ratio too.
It
Something
could
that
be.
might have been cut out back then.
Yeah.
But isn't
Yeah.
now because
That,
it's
yeah, that's
widescreen.
true. That's true.
Well, I didn't even notice it on the because I watched it on HBO Max.
It's oh yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
is on HBO
So-
Max.
But like, so he steals a homeless dude's pants, like right off the rip. That's what he steals and wears, and he never like trades them out, even though he goes into a store, steals like a jacket. and stuff. He steals and he keeps the homeless dude's pants on, but like those things stink.
Oh, for sure.
Like, and he doesn't trade them out. He just wears them around, and like they bang like. And
yeah,
they
and
go,
he hadn't even showered or nothing up until that point.
like I could just.
Yep. No, don't think so.
Or no, he did shower, didn't he?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
He was
That's-
just shirtless.
That's gross, man.
Yeah.
And like the homeless guy, like he like starts talking to him, then out of nowhere you just see him taking his pants, and it's like you didn't even try to fight him. You just
right.
And
Well,
then
and
you're
if
like,
you look
"He
at the
took
homeless
my
guy's pants,
pants."
like you can tell that they're blatantly like paint stains on them.
Oh, yeah.
But you
Yeah.
could tell somebody took a brush and put paint on
Yeah.
them on purpose to make
Yeah.
it look like old shitty paint pants.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, what? You couldn't just get some dingy rags.
Go to
put on it?
Goodwill, man.
Yeah,
like,
go
just
to
find
Goodwill or
some
something.
Shitty
Make
pants.
some patches on it or something.
And then that part in the diner where she's like waitressing or whatever, and that kid puts his ice cream in her fucking.
Yeah.
What kind of asshole kid does
What
that?
kind of
If I
parent
was
goes,
that
yeah,
person-
good job,
Yeah,
kid.
good job, son.
Like,
you know,
I would
like,
I would
smack
kick-
that child.
I would have been
so
like,
hard.
motherfucker, my
I don't
tits
care
are
how-
in that pocket.
And I don't care how bad my waitress is. I'm not gonna let my kid do something like that and be like, "Good job, kid."
You're
Like,
right.
I'm
And you
gonna
can tell she
punch
was
you in the
trying
face.
hard too.
Yeah, well, back
Well, and 9
then,
times out
yeah.
of 10, when it comes to the food, it's not the waitress's fault.
No.
I'm just gonna say
Right.
it's not.
But that's who you want to blame, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Um,
like, this is not because I don't want to get too much into the whole like time travel,
Oh, yeah.
like it
Yeah.
crisscross thing. But like, you would think in this case though that Kyle would have the upper hand because John wants to be born, right? Theoretically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So wouldn't he tell him like everything he needs to know, like her last name, where she lives, social security
I
number?
don't think he would know.
hair
all that. What makes you
color-
think he knows all that?
It's his mom.
But he
like,
doesn't
why
know
wouldn't
where
she
she
tell
lived.
him to tell Kyle?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
She could have wrote it down on that picture, like on the
Yeah,
back
I
of
mean,
it.
That's
something.
true, yeah. There's a lot of like.
they make it like so hard to
But-
find
so
her.
the biggest thing about the picture is for the picture, like I'm like, so you're telling me that John Connor said, "Hey, dude, this is my mom," and handed him a picture. It was like, you know what Kyle Reese was doing with that picture? Like, yeah, I've been in love with you for years. Like what
Like,
the
oh.
fuck? Like, dude, like
Oh.
little.
Maybe not, she's-
Well,
she's
I think,
good.
you know,
Bella
okay,
from
so-
Twilight, whenever
But like, you know,
everyone
when
goes
you
to-
first saw this movie, did that not blow your mind? Like when you see her pregnant, you're like, oh god, he was
Yeah,
was
he's
John's
the
dad.
He's the
But
dad.
you know, like, so it blows your mind the first time. It's only after subsequent watching that you start to pick it apart.
Yeah, you're like, hold on a minute here.
But
So it's just creepy because you're like, all right, so you're telling me John gave him the picture, knowing that he's his dad, and he's like, you know, like talking, oh, I was in love with you for all these years.
but all I
and-
know is that her name's Sarah.
But you know what he's doing
Like,
with
you
that
know?
picture behind closed doors Because obviously he's like, I never had a woman. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, but
Yeah.
like, you know, he gives her this
It's a little
picture.
it's a little sticky.
Yeah, it looks a little
He,
sticky.
he gives her this picture, and then all he does is say, "Her name is Sarah Connor. Good luck."
And,
Like, it's his mom,
and
you know.
Here's another thing. Like, how did Kyle know to go look in a phone book? How did he even know what a phone book was?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is they give him just like these details. You know, maybe they said, "Look in the phone book." What's a phone book? Well, it's this book that's in a booth.
But then he pulls that money out whenever they're walking to the hotel. Is this enough?
Yeah, I don't
Like
know
he doesn't know
that-
what fucking money is.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's plenty.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. It's just that again. I don't want to get too much into that whole time travel crisscross thing.
The time
But
travel thing gets me too. Is like, if they know, if the machines wouldn't have set a Terminator back to kill Sarah Connor, they wouldn't have sent Kyle Reese back to
right.
save her. So then again, John Connor wouldn't have been born.
My question is,
It's that whole time loop thing that has blown people's
you can
minds,
go
yeah.
back and forth all night
All
long,
day,
and you're gonna
yeah.
find loopholes and upon loopholes
Yeah.
upon
Oh,
loopholes.
But you can also find reasons how to close those loopholes. Like, well, this reason or that reason.
And for every one that you
Yeah.
close, there's going to be another one that you open. So
Exactly.
it doesn't really matter.
Time travel is just one of those things. It's kind of like Back to the Future. Like, it's just best to enjoy the film.
Right.
Like, you not even worry about
the
it.
only thing I wanted to say was that it just didn't make sense to me that as her son, he wouldn't have given Kyle some upper hand information
Right.
to say she was
I'm
my
gonna
mom.
make your job a little easier for
Yeah.
you here.
Her name's Sarah Connor.
Which
she
he
lived
did-
at
he did go to her-
324. You
He
know,
found
West.
her pretty easy though, like really easy.
he really did.
He
though.
found her way easier than the
Yeah, but
Terminator
he
did.
ripped out of the phone book too.
Yeah, he did. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like he found her much faster.
Yeah, he did. So maybe he did have some other information.
He might have
but
because
like,
he was pretty quick about it. Like he was already there at her apartment watching her as she left and all that stuff.
maybe he's just
before-
better at his job than the
Maybe,
Terminator
yeah.
is. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but also that part. So I want to talk about because one thing I never noticed, I never realized back whenever I watched this as a kid, I was like, why does Arnold Schwarzenegger not have any eyebrows? And then I missed the part.
where he
Then
got
I saw the
burned.
part and like where he blows up the car
Yeah.
and like it singes his hair and everything
Yep,
and takes
yep.
off his eyebrows. Madison's like, why doesn't he have any eyebrows? And I was like, I didn't realize it. I was like, because that car blew up and he walked through the
Yeah.
fire.
See, I had the same thing. Like because I didn't notice that he didn't have eyebrows either.
I was always because I
And-
was wondering
yeah.
like, how does his hair? Because he starts out with this nice
Yeah.
groomed hair,
Yeah.
and then like it's all like choppy and weird looking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how does his hair get like
Yeah.
that?
What happened, man?
Yeah,
So that girl was really too much into her Walkman.
I fucking hated her.
Yeah.
I even wrote
I've
this down.
I've hated her every time.
The
I've
roommate
watched
gets
this.
on my nerves. I
Like,
said, who has
she's
sex
so-
with headphones on?
She's so much into her Walkman. I was like,
Yeah.
dude better get some better moves. He better get his game up.
I'm telling
telling
you,
you.
she's literally dancing the whole time she's alive.
Yeah.
I'm like, the roommate gets on my nerves. Like, I was like, who dances?
Why did they have to add that in there? Like,
It's an 80s.
is it because
It
she
was
had
the
to have her
80s thing.
headphones on whenever?
I guess
he
she
was
had her
tossing with
Walkman
her
on and
boyfriend?
was like-
That's not
It was
even
the
a
80s
trope,
thing.
though. That was just the dumbest
I was
fucking
gonna say it's
character
not really
in TV
yeah.
history.
It's really not,
movie
it wasn't a
history.
trope of that time
No,
to just have your headphones on all the time
no.
because you know
Well-
she's listening to the same like
Well, think
15
about-
songs over and over
Yeah,
again.
well, think about
Flip
what
to
was
side
it,
B.
oh shit! It was John Candy.
Oh, and now your cassette's fucked up. Better get your pencil out.
Where they go on a vacation to the beach.
Huh?
John
What?
Candy movie.
Oh,
Oh,
summer camp.
Summer camp.
No,
So-
summer vacation.
Summer
yeah,
vacation. Yeah, summer
So,
camp.
you know the daughter. She's
Or no,
always wearing
summer
her
rental.
headphones.
Yeah, but she's a teenager.
It's summer rental.
That's
Same.
that's a teenager trope in every movie. They're always into their music. Well, we
Mhm.
all were. That's a
Yeah.
trope of teenagers, not a trope.
Not a
of,
fucking
Grown
20-some-year-old
ass
woman.
yeah. That's stupid. That's just the stupidest character.
It is a
in
really
movie
dumb.
history.
She's literally got her headphones on the whole time. She comes off as like a very stupid. Like her boyfriend had more substance than she did.
Mhm.
I don't know. I hated her character 100%.
Yeah, like how did she even get a boyfriend if she never takes a damn headphone?
Like,
off?
I know.
For real.
And then like they're banging. He's like on top of her. She's just got her headphones on, bobbing her head. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
I would not
Oh
have
my
sex
God.
with that
No.
woman. Like, take that shit off.
No shit.
At least pretend like you're enjoying this.
So those robots that were like crushing the skulls, like rolling over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They looked like Johnny Fives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Five. It would be funny to like have a TikTok where it's like
Johnny
it's
Five is
Johnny
alive.
Five rolling up like choo, 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 purple lasers and shit.
I think I've seen something where it like shows like a Johnny Five doing that.
Is it?
Oh, really?
I'll have to see if I can find that.
And you know, speaking of like the two of them being roommates, like 80s hot, like 80s getting ready to go out and have a night on the town, looked very weird.
Yeah.
Cause Sarah, she looked like
She looked
my
better-
mom in the 80s getting ready to go to like a parent teacher conference.
That's my
Yeah.
mom too. Her
She
hair
didn't
very
look
much
like-
reminded me of my mom's
Well,
hair
but
back in the early 90s.
even I'm saying she's getting ready to go out on the town like for a date. She looked like my mom going to a parent teacher conference in the 80s. That's not how my
I
mom
know.
looked when
She's
she was
like-
going
she's like-
out.
Yeah, so her roommate's dressing up like a skank to stay in and bang her boyfriend, and then she's dressing up like this, like she's getting ready to go to a soccer game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
To
Like,
go out on a
like
date with a
Sarah,
lady.
you're not gonna meet a guy looking like.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
saying, like, no. And then 80s Linda Hamilton, she could have done some cosplay as Ozzy Osbourne. I'm just gonna say that.
No
too.
shit,
Like
dude.
she could have killed
She was
it.
pretty back in the day though.
She was, but that hair, it wasn't doing it for me.
She's married to James Cameron.
I know, but that hair, it totally was reminding me
James
of Ozzy
Cameron
Osbourne.
is
Like
the
she could
director?
have.
writer, and
Yeah.
director.
Now, did you guys?
He also
notice,
does the Avatar movies.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Did you guys notice how Arnold flinched every time he pulled the trigger?
I did, yeah. I was like,
I
it's
was
not
like-
very robot
Yeah,
like.
that's what I was like sitting there saying. I was like, you
Like
don't
it,
think
like
a
whenever
machine
he's
would
like
flinch.
shooting that lady through the door,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Zzz."
Unfortunately, I don't know if you can really help that. I mean, I don't think there's any.
Yeah, you
humor-
could get more used to having that gun.
There is no, I don't. Good luck. You two go ahead. I want to get. I will pay for you guys to go to
Okay,
the gun
well,
range
it's called
as often as possible. I'm
it's
not gonna
called
pay for your
camera
ammo.
magic. It's called camera magic.
Do I flinch when I shoot?
Yes,
No.
everybody does. Don't fuck.
Okay,
fuck
listen
around.
to this
Everybody
though. Listen to this.
does.
Listen. So if he's holding the gun, show an image, like a scene with him just shooting the gun from waist high, no face, and then up here, take the shot again of just his face, and then just create a flash.
Sure, but did they have that like in the 80s? Could they have
yes,
done that?
why couldn't they have? Just creating a flash.
Did you see the part where he was like repairing his face? That looked like shit.
I'm just saying. No, I'm
Yeah,
saying
he
like
very
they don't
fake
even have to
face.
do anything. All they have to do is show like a scene of him doing this, and then cut up here while he's still shooting,
Oh, I see what
and
you're
then
saying.
create
I got
the flash so that he doesn't.
Yeah,
blink.
they could have done that for sure. I'm just saying that
Just
there
saying,
is
James Cameron, give me a call, dude. I
you-
got ideas.
I'm just saying that, like, back then, there's no way to have faked it. And I'm sorry, everybody's human. We don't have real robots. You're gonna flinch when you shoot a gun.
I
Sorry.
have robots.
Do you?
No.
That
I'm
shoot
one.
guns?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when the clunking noise, whenever the Terminator is shot, when you hear like the bullets actually.
Oh,
hit,
yeah.
That actually is kind of neat.
That was neat.
I love. That's what I
Yeah.
loved about the second one too.
Mhm.
Like, cause you notice that in certain areas, like
yeah.
whenever he protected John, had him back here, and they shooting him in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You hear ching 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 ching.
Yeah. So I never noticed this part before, but it did make me literally laugh out loud. Was when the two cops were standing there and they were talking about the whole case and everything, and the one guy's standing there with Lance Henriksen, and he's like, "Give me a cigarette," and he's got one in his mouth, smoking one already, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Give me a cigarette," and he gives him one, and he's like.
okay.
It was just funny to me. It was like one of those like sight gags,
Yeah.
You almost don't see it happen, but you see him go to lift
So-
it up to light it, and he's already got one in his mouth. And
So
he's like,
one of my main questions about here's a continuity issue. So okay, so they get there's like this police chase, car chase, or whatever, and the Terminator's chasing them, the police are chasing them, and then like they get into an accident. Terminator runs straight into a fucking wall. They pull over. They have to get out. Why didn't the Terminator just get out, kill Sarah, walk away?
For real though.
Why did he get up? Why did he have to run away from the cops? His main job,
There were a lot of times when he could have just
just
shot
off the
her.
bit. She's right there in the car. Walk up, boom, done. Huh. Mission success.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
So let the
I didn't
police
understand.
people
That was
that
the
shoot
one
him.
thing I was like, God damn it. He could have just killed her right there. But then they like go check the car and oh my god, he escaped out
He's
the other
gone.
side. He's gone. It's like, why though? He's a fucking Terminator.
Well,
He
and-
doesn't have fear. What's he running for?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's something in trivia about that too, if memory serves, but I could be wrong.
Maybe they
about that,
edited
too.
something or
Yeah, I don't remember. There might be. I remember reading about that though, something about that scene in
I
particular.
could see it being like, well, his main thing is that, but
it
also
might have had to do with the
fact that like
the
his eye
eyebrows
was fucked
and-
up and
yeah.
everything, and like maybe
That's
one of
that
his
might
main,
have been it. That
one
might
of
have
his
been.
main things wasn't to be seen
Noticed.
as a
No,
robot.
it
or
might. That
whatever.
might have been it. That might have been. There was a deleted scene. I think maybe this. Yeah, maybe if memory serves, there was a deleted scene which showed that when he like went back to like repair himself or whatever, you find out that in the wreck not only like was the shit fucked up, but like so you saw him repairing his arm.
Yeah.
So like he couldn't pull a trigger with that arm, and also there was something wrong with his vision.
Oh, well then they should have fucking shown that in the movie.
Yeah, I think that was what I read.
Yeah, going back to that, where he's talking about he's cutting his eye out. Now, remember when he says, "I'll be back," and he's wearing the sunglasses? You can see he doesn't have the cutout eye. You can
Oh
see
yeah,
his
you
real
can
eye.
clearly
Oh.
tell. Yeah.
See, that was one of the things about like back then. Like I said, these are remastered.
Yeah,
fucking
and
1080,
you wouldn't have
know.
been able to tell that
Yeah,
back then.
back to whenever all they had was like 480. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So like this drives me crazy in every single fucking movie, but like that it ever happens in. But like I've never once heard of 911 being busy.
You're right.
Anyone?
Yeah, no.
That kind of got to me too.
Yeah, I was like,
And
really?
you call, and it happens in like all kinds of movies I've
Yeah.
seen where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you for calling 911. We're busy. No,
What?
that's not what 911 is. I'm sorry. That's
We're
fucking
busy.
stupid. That's the
We're not a
stupidest
My
It's
plot.
emergency can wait.
Like,
Yeah, that's the stupidest plot point in any movie. Can we come up with something better, please? I'm just saying that drives me nuts.
His play face was throwing me off though.
His
well,
what?
I mean, they couldn't really
Play
do much.
face.
They couldn't really do
Oh.
much better back then.
yeah, I mean,
they did the best
They did
with what
what
they
did
had.
what they
Yeah.
could with the 80s, man. So I just want to put out there that Reese went back in time to bang his boss's mom.
Right.
in the most simplified terms.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, hold on. Reese went back in time, banged the boss's mom that he's supposed to be protecting.
And created the boss.
Yeah, and then created the boss. Like, oh.
that's something else.
Yeah, mind blown, right? Like, like, dude.
I don't understand why they didn't just go back in time and kill the baby instead of the mom. Like, why did they have to kill the mom? Why can't they just kill the baby?
Well, that's
There was actually an entire what was that?
an entire
A
movie.
robot chicken about that.
Was there really?
Yeah, there was a robot chicken.
There was an
where-
entire movie dedicated to
Yeah.
that. It's called Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
No,
Yeah,
the
where
act
they-
where he's actually a
The
baby.
last Terminator movie.
And
they-
robot chicken.
Oh.
he
It's
kills
funny.
John
Did they
Connor.
kill him?
Yeah, but I don't
No,
listen to that
the-
shit.
It was a
That new
That new
Terminator.
Terminator
baby,
movies suck dick.
And
Oh. Huh?
Nothing. I was talking to Eric.
Yeah.
anyway,
Fine.
AB conversation. See your way the fuck out of it.
gay.
Then get out.
That's
Get out.
middle letter
Get out.
shit.
Get out.
So-
Okay.
When they're sitting in the car and he's trying to tell her what's going on and she's like not believing him, I understand that that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot to take
But
in.
it doesn't
and-
take
and-
much for her to believe him
But
either.
dude, she literally
Dude
saw
get
him get
blown away.
shot and get right back up.
Yeah, but I
And I
mean, you
understand-
could explain that away for real. You could.
Not quite that.
He's on
quick-
PCP. Yeah,
Not quite that
Wearing
quickly
armored
though. Not quite that
vest.
quickly. Not
Maybe.
quite that quickly.
maybe I don't know.
Dude, literally, boom.
Yeah, but like you have to understand though, like things like that just don't exist. So like if you were out and about, you saw some dude get shot, get back up, and somebody says he's a robot, you're gonna be like, yeah. No, you're gonna be like,
Fair
no, the
enough.
fuck he's not. Like
That's
he's
fair.
cracked out and he's not going down. Shoot him in the
Cracked
face,
out.
stupid.
I guess I don't know though, but like you get pulled into all this stuff, like you get pulled into it.
And you
It'd
find
be one
out
thing.
that
It's one thing to be a bystander and go, "Yeah, that's not a fucking robot. Are you fucking
Right.
cracked?" But you're in the middle of it,
Right,
You know what
I
I mean? You got
understand.
pulled
yeah,
into
it's a little
this.
bit different when I guess what if you're there and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, you're right. He might be a fucking robot.
Yeah, he might. I'm just saying, entertain the idea. You don't have to like believe it right away.
Right.
You
But
know?
she does. I think she believes it pretty quickly.
And well, after a while, she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm in," and
Well,
you know, and then when she goes to the
she is in it, and then they're like, they go to the police station.
Yeah, then-
and they try to
Kinda gets
explain
out
it
of it.
away.
Right,
and she's
right.
like, yeah, okay. And then like he comes back, yeah, blah blah blah.
right. No, I'm
So-
talking about that
Destroys
scene where
the
she
whole
like
police
bites him.
station.
Yeah, right.
You know that
yeah.
part. I'm like, can
yeah,
you,
in the car.
like, can
yeah.
you not? Like, he's already shown you that he's
He's like,
trying
the
to be-
Terminator doesn't feel pain. I do.
Yeah.
Like, wow, thank you, Michael Biehn.
yeah.
You
Like
were
I'm
that.
just saying,
reacting to
like,
it,
you know,
though.
he saved your life.
You're right.
Even if you don't believe him, maybe don't bite him. I'm
Right.
just saying.
Right.
Bite
So I feel like with as dumb as because the Terminator has one goal: kill Sarah Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Lure that motherfucker into a trap. He's like, I don't know if I can kill him with the weapons that you have in this day and age. I'm like, yes, you can. He's a robot, dude. Rocket launcher,
A cyborg.
cyborg, whatever. Like
Clicker.
rocket launcher. Hell, she kills him with a fucking press.
Well, maybe
So-
maybe he means more like, you know,
As a
the
blur.
kind of weapons that he can access.
Right.
You know?
No.
I guess, yeah. I guess
I
he
don't
didn't really think. Maybe he didn't think. Well, yeah, a factory would work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
take
think
him
he-
into this factory and just smash him.
Can't tell.
right.
But
Because
like,
he's not gonna go in.
but that's
to,
what
like,
I'm saying. Like, lure him into a trap. Like, he's dumb. Like,
Yeah.
he's a robot. Like,
well, you know, it kind of kills me. Like, there is one thing about Arnold that kills, or that I really liked in this role. You know, he's supposed to be a robot, so he's supposed to have just this like stone face, right? Like this, just almost blank
He
expression.
does that very well.
But
Yeah.
he does, but almost to the point that his expression shows more disgust and disdain for humans than it does blankness.
there is one season where, or no season.
Season.
Why the
Season.
fuck did I say?
Yeah.
There's that one part where
What were
he's
you
like,
watching?
yeah. Well, that part where he throws the guy through the door and he's trying to get to the roommate, and he like leans through and he's got this like weird face, like he's struggling to get through the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a robot. Why are you? For one,
Just
why are you
walk
struggling?
through it.
And why are you expressing that on your face?
Mhm.
I didn't understand. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't look like a robot whenever you look like you're struggling to climb through the door. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed that a lot of times the look on his face
Cyborg.
conveyed disgust and disdain more than it conveyed blankness.
Maybe that was something that they wanted him to do. Maybe he has that disgust or disdain
Maybe
for
it's
humans.
smell.
Maybe well, and I thought maybe that might be something that they might have programmed just to be that way, you know?
I do like that Reese explained. He said the T600 was had a rubber
Yeah.
overlay.
We
Like
saw
you
them
could
right
tell
away.
them, you could see them, you knew what they looked like. He goes, these T800s are harder to spot because they
Yeah,
have
those
human
organic
flesh.
skin.
Mhm.
So I thought that was pretty neat. I was like, oh, so you explained that, like that art. There's the older versions weren't as
Hair,
advanced.
bad breath.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, they have hair, bad breath, and everything now, and they bleed.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's neat. You know, at least they explain a little bit about the last one. You know, the ones before the 800.
Yeah. So that room that he like went up and did his surgery on and everything, so like you could tell he had it set up ahead of time because his guns and all of his stuff was in there. But like, okay, so he went up the fire escape the first 2 times he used that room during the nighttime. But then later he leaves during the daytime and uses the front door.
He just walks out the front
He
door.
walks out the front door and starts pushing people, shoving people, and
That's because he's walking out like, this is it.
I don't need to
I'm
be-
not
How did
paying
he
my
know-
rent, and I'm not coming back.
But how did he know? You know what I mean? Like,
Like, I don't know.
It's like
You walk out there like a badass, like, yeah. So in the club, whenever he's like getting ready to turn around and shoot Sarah Connor,
Yeah.
and then the part where like Michael Biehn or whatever has the shotgun, he's getting ready to cock it. That dude's walking right in front of him, and like pays no attention. Like Michael
Yeah.
Biehn's getting shot, like getting his shotgun ready, and like this guy in like this yellow shirt, like very much there to party, is like just walking by like casually, like, "What's up, dude?" Like no issue with Michael Biehn having a like Reese
Yeah.
having a shotgun, just like, dude, this guy's oblivious.
well, I
Like,
mean,
Maybe
you know,
he
when
was
you're
on
walking down
crack.
the street and somebody pulls a shotgun in front of you, don't you?
no,
just
this is
keep
in the
walking?
club though.
Yeah.
This is in the club though. I'm like, dude, like
He was probably on PCP.
that guy was like, I'm just having a good time, dude. Like, do your thing, shotgun, dude.
Do your thing, shotgun, dude.
Just funny. So I was like, God damn, that guy did not give a shit.
No.
And then
At
that
least I'm
table
going
that
out
she
in
was sitting
style.
at was like grating. Like the table that she was sitting at in the club was like the grating that,
Oh,
like on
yeah.
from a catwalk or
Yeah.
something. I'm
I
like,
mean,
that has got to be the most uncomfortable table to
I
sit
mentioned
at.
that to
And
Jeremiah.
she's
I
like
said-
sitting at it like this with her palms on the table, like.
Well,
You know, like-
I mentioned that to Jeremiah. I said that's got to be like the worst kind of table like material to use because like think about like if somebody has like a wine glass or something.
It's not. It's gonna fall
Like,
over
it-
or wobble or.
That's like the
You know?
worst. I mean, put like some glass on top of it or something. I know you're going through for aesthetic, but
Yeah, put something over, like even not maybe not glass, but
Plexiglass,
like some
something.
plexiglass or something set on top of there so people can actually utilize
I love
the
that
table.
we're talking about a movie and we're bitching
We're
about
bitching about the fucking table. It's so
what
dumb.
are you doing?
I guess that club is a real club, and
Maybe they
Tech
should
Noir.
put something.
yeah,
on the
it's an
table
actual
then.
club, and it's still open, I guess.
I say we go
Go to Tech Noir. It didn't look very big.
and tell them that their tables suck.
I think it's funny that their cover charge was like $4.50 back in like, the 80s. I'm like, God, that was a lot of money back
Well,
then.
I mean, again,
that's like a $20 cover charge now.
again, we're bitching about like tables and shit, but like I noticed that they have like those like a drop ceiling, like what's in an office building, like they're dancing. I'm like looking at the
It
ceiling.
looks like a hall.
And it looked
Yeah.
It looked like it was in the middle of a strip mall. Like, so
Yeah.
who has a club in the middle of a strip mall?
Yeah, it's like
let's go get our nails done, get our hair done, and then
then
we'll
go
go to the
party.
club
We'll all
right
meet up
there in the
here.
middle.
Yeah.
We have to walk through the club to get to the stuff that we need for the club.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Insanity.
It's so stupid. We're bitching about the dumbest
I
things.
know.
Way to make money back then.
I guess.
I just hated the fact that she worked at a burger joint. She like rolled up on that bitch. I was like, hold on, is that like Frisch's?
I know. I thought the same
And then
thing.
she
but
walks
it's
in
not.
and
It's
I'm like, that is totally like a Frisch's
Yeah,
in
it was
there.
like
like
beef burger.
yeah, I was like,
Burger
that is.
Boy or
And then she
something.
like her scooter. She
Yeah.
leaves it like right out by
keep
the road.
it safe, Burger Boy.
Yeah, and she like
or
just uses
something.
like a fucking and she locks the tire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, okay, that's LA, dude. Like, they're just gonna take the tire off and take your scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Like-
left with just
Like
a
that is the
tire.
dumb. Like, why would you just lock up the tire?
or they're just gonna snip it. I'm
It was
sorry,
like I
you
think
know,
it was
you
the
think
front tire. Even I'm like, that's the easiest tire to get rid of,
Oh,
and just
yeah.
take your scooter.
Mhm.
And it was
I
an
mean,
ugly
she
ass
was
scooter, man.
blonde.
Well, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but okay.
She was
We'll
blonde.
roll with it.
We'll roll with it. Fuck it. She was blonde.
Hey, Crystal.
I had to
Talking
laugh
about you.
just randomly through the movie because I remembered that Bill Paxton and Arnold were in True Lies together,
Oh yeah.
and he
Which
made
is
him,
also another James Cameron.
yeah, and
movie.
he made him piss himself. Made
Yeah.
Bill Paxton piss
Yeah.
himself. Yeah,
He's always fucking with Bill Paxton. Maybe you should just leave Bill Paxton alone, you dick.
I know, right? He should have put him in Frailty and got some revenge.
Got some revenge. Oh man, I love Bill Paxton. I miss Bill Paxton.
I will say that the ending that I mean, it sucks that Reese had to die, obviously,
Right.
but I think that it's perfectly fitting that Sarah's the one that kills the Terminator,
Right.
in quotes. you know,
Yeah.
kills the
Essentially
Terminator.
finishes him off.
Yeah, I think it's perfect that she's the one that has to essentially save herself, because if you think about it, the very beginning of the movie, she's very fragile and very like
I'll
it's the
bite
first.
you.
It's the first
She
step.
essentially goes through a transformation.
It's
throughout
the first
movie.
step into what you see in
Yeah.
Terminator 2 to who she is there.
Oh yeah,
You
like
know?
in Terminator 2, she's like a full blown
Totally different person.
Yeah, I mean, she could probably she'd give Reese a run for his money for sure.
Oh yeah.
She's way more battle hardened than
I'd
he
like to
is.
see like old Sarah and new Sarah like meet, and just as like new
Oh,
Sarah
old
or
Sarah
old
beat
Sarah
the
just
shit
like
Old Sarah would beat the fuck out of
yeah,
young
new,
Sarah.
No, I would just like new Sarah be like, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, right. Like, are you sure you're not a Terminator?
Yeah.
Smacking around.
So the thing that crushed him though, I just have to like, because this is where my head
Drop
goes. Again,
press.
we bitched about the tabletops. What practical purpose does that serve in that factory?
I was wondering the same
'Cause
thing. Like,
it
what
has
is
like
that
a
thing?
cage.
It's
So,
got
like,
yeah,
what are
and
you
then it just comes
caging in
down
there?
and presses.
Yeah, what
Like
are you
it's squashing
caging?
something?
Yeah, what are you caging to squash?
Yeah, that and the cage wasn't fully effective.
Yeah,
I didn't understand it either. I was like, I didn't know
you talking about what the cage?
yeah.
that she pulled down that
she
he
pulled
couldn't
it-
get
she-
to her.
Yeah, she pulled this cage down and only had like 4 bars,
Yeah.
so
Well,
he
see,
couldn't.
yeah, I
all
I
he could
don't
do was
understand
reach
the 4
through.
bars thing because
It's a cage.
If it's a safety thing, like when you have safety guards and stuff put on machines,
But something's
that-
definitely
that
getting
could
through
be
that.
to prevent people from putting their hands in. But if it's 4
Yeah,
bars,
but it's like
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
you
it's
can literally just stick your hand in
there.
there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a safety grate.
Yeah.
It's literally like a cage.
Yeah.
And so like this cage comes down and you press a button and it squishes.
Whatever's in there, if it wants to come out, it's coming out.
Yeah, like I just
Or if you want to stick your hand in there, you still stick your hand in there.
it was kind of creepy to me. I'll just say like
Yeah.
because I guess because I saw what she used it for and how
So
it
you
worked.
started thinking-
That's all I think it's for. Like
just to squash robots.
Well, no, not just robots. Like
Just to squash anything. Just
Yeah.
squash stuff. It
Yep.
squashed It makes sandwiches.
Makes sandwiches.
Eye jelly.
Very, very compact sandwiches.
Eye jelly.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that thing was. But then again, there's a lot of stupid machines. I mean, we've all worked in factories. Well, not
Yeah.
Madison, but
Yeah.
we've all worked in factories, and we're like, we've seen the
What's
things.
that
like,
do?
What does that thing do?
Oh.
Oh, okay, that
Oh,
makes sense.
that makes
Oh
sense.
man,
Yeah.
I got a machine.
Seen plenty of machines like that.
It's a job I used to work at. They put rotors, like these rotors, and you had to lube them up and had to put a crankshaft in. Okay, so
Wow.
the way you had to
Whoa.
lube 'em up-
Uh-huh.
Where is this going?
Wait,
Where did you work?
So the way you had to lube it up,
So
you
the
had to put
machine.
it on
This is what the machine
You,
did.
had to, you took the rotor and you
A
had to put
crankshaft. You had to lube
it
it up.
on a shaft that had oil that came out the top. Now,
What?
guess what the shape of the shaft looked like?
A penis? I'm
It
hoping.
looked like a dildo.
A
That had
dildo.
fucking oil come out, and you had to literally lube up.
Literally lube it up.
Then you had to put the rotor in and stick a shaft up another hole, and it took the shaft and put it inside.
Dude,
the
this sounds
rotor.
like the world's
Oh,
best
it
sex
was-
toy.
It was something.
Like the most expensive
And
sex toy ever
I mean,
made.
I would make some of the most weird
Lube
faces.
the shaft so we can stick it up the
So-
other end.
Can you imagine
Because
like
I had
when you're
to-
having a bad day? Yeah, you like that, don't you?
You like that. You like that,
So,
don't
like,
you?
The way, because I had a friend of mine who always worked right across from me, so every time I'd be like, I would make some the most suggestive,
Give him that look like, hey,
and it would make some like,
what's up?
like,
You like how I do it?
You lick your
And,
lips every once
like
in a while.
sometimes when the shaft would go in, it was just like if you didn't put enough lube, it'd make like a loud screeching. So every time it started doing, I was like,
Oh boy.
I mean, we had a blast with that machine.
I bet you did. It
Oh,
sounds
we did.
like.
Oh, we did. So there's my story for the most
I'm so
awkward
proud of
machine.
Well, I don't think any of us
Most
have one to
awkward
top that for.
machine
I
machine.
don't-
I don't have one to top that for
Nope.
machine. Nope.
Nope, I got nothing on that one.
Dude, you win.
Yeah, you win.
It was the most awkward
You win the bet.
machine I've ever
We
worked
had a
with.
bet. We had a bet. I don't have any
Uh,
money. I'm broke.
Pay the man.
What's the prize?
I've gone through all my notes.
Yeah,
Me
so
too.
did I.
Ditto.
I was
Ditto.
gonna say you didn't really have a whole lot to do.
Well, you guys said it all.
We
No, you
covered
guys said it all for me. I asked her when we were done watching the news, like, did you get a lot of notes? She's like, sure. Okay.
Sure I did.
All right, yeah.
Let's rock out this bitch.
Yeah, well, will you guys review it? What would you guys review it?
Oh, we're getting into the review then? Is that what you're saying?
As yes.
That's
Our,
where
it
we're
says
at.
our reviews.
Our reviews, huh?
Yes.
Who are we starting with?
Karen.
Karen.
Shit, why?
If you're a girl, ladies first.
Yes.
No, I already did Eric and Dad first. Now
They
it's Karen.
That's your
suck.
turn.
Okay.
Piece of shit.
Bitch.
Oh.
Damn.
Feisty.
Stop hitting me.
I think from now on they don't sit next to each other.
Thank you.
Good
Because he's
idea.
annoying the shit out of me. I would say I have to start with the score being amazing. Because even as a kid, that always stuck with me. I don't know. I like 80s synthesizer music.
The music was really good. I love
Yeah,
it.
the score, even in the second one, it still does the same thing. It's not synthesizer music, but it's one of the few movies that hits the nail on the head. Every scene, every song, every piece of that score lands for that movie. It's a chase scene. It's a little faster. It's every piece of it lands, and it fits whatever scene you're watching. The story, especially for its time, you'd never heard of, seen, thought of anything like that.
Yeah.
So I said it earlier, I'll say it again, but the first time you watch that movie and then you see her pregnant, you're like mind blown. You're like, holy shit.
I remember being a kid and watching it.
Yeah, and you're like, holy shit, he was his dad. And you're like,
wait, how'd she get pregnant? Oh.
yeah, like
Oh.
your mind just almost implodes. And even to this day, even though you might pick it apart a little bit, no other movie has that same effect, I don't think, to give you that, at the end you're going, oh, that moment. and it could be because we were kids or whatever. I don't know,
Right.
but that was always kind of amazing to me. And I'm not going just on this watch for this movie. I'm going on even my first watch for this movie. So the storyline, the acting, we've talked about Arnold a little bit. I think he did a stellar job, especially for this being one of his first roles.
Yeah.
I don't think that I could convey a robot as well as he did.
Nice to
I mean,
meet
he
you.
well, I mean, he almost nails it. I mean,
Mhm.
you can't pick too many scenes where he fucks up. I mean,
He's not exactly known for his acting chops, but
no.
But back then, like, he was just a bored.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't the best actor.
Sure.
He did Conan, and it was like, he didn't have to do a lot of
Right.
talking or anything that either,
Right.
So
But I'm just saying, like, when you talk about having to hold a straight face or having to, not showing emotion is just as hard as showing emotion.
right.
And then, especially like when he had to when he was putting together the guns and stuff. Now, I think I have trivia on this, but I noticed this even in the movie. He's almost putting them together with precision, like precision that a machine would have.
Right. Something that he would do as if it was automated.
Yeah, it was he wasn't even thinking about it. He was just, it was happening, So that takes some skill. So I have to give him some major props there. He did a great job. Leno Hamilton, she does a really good job, I think, conveying, this kind of really scared girl in the beginning and slowly showing that progression of, I'm getting it, I'm understanding, and then by
Get
the
up,
end,
soldier. It's not your time yet.
yeah, and then by the end, she's really like, okay, I've got to stand on my own 2 feet.
Mhm.
As much as this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie and this series is his, it's just as much hers.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
she owns that fucking character, dude.
For sure. And I mean, even Michael, did we say
Bane.
Bane?
I think
Yeah,
it's Bane.
I think it's Bane. I mean, he's not the greatest in his role, but there again, I think that his character isn't supposed to be very good at being human.
Right.
They don't have a lot of interaction, so I don't think he's supposed
He's a soldier.
to. Yeah, I don't think he's
Yeah.
supposed to be very good at talking to her or him or anybody or even understanding her from a, emotional level or anything.
Civilian
yeah,
standpoint, yeah.
So I can certainly see where, where we think it's maybe bad acting, it comes off that way anyway. Maybe it's more conveying that he has no way of, really understanding her.
Right.
So I'm going to go with an 8.
You see, I'm glad they brought her back in the last Terminator though too.
I stopped watching after 3.
I didn't know.
You're
there
not
was more
missing
than
much.
3.
I know.
Like,
I think I quit after 3 on pretty much everything.
I don't blame you.
I
Like,
watched them all.
Salvation, I like, as much as people hate on Salvation, I like
It was
Salvation.
decent.
I only liked Salvation because of Anton Yelchin.
I like it for him. I think the
f-
movie's good.
I thought Christian Bale did a shitty job as John.
Oh, for sure. He's
Yeah.
very one note in that movie.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie I thought was great. I thought they kind of captured that a little bit, and I think they did a fine
The only
job.
one that I thought nailed it was Anton, but of course he did.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I totally saw him as younger Michael Bain. I really did.
Right.
I
Yeah.
totally saw him that way.
Your battery's dying.
We'll probably change it before trivia.
Yeah, we'll change it before trivia.
Okay.
Who? Madison.
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at the thingy. Eric.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, ADHD kicked in.
Okay.
Pros
You didn't put-
for the time of the
What?
For the time.
You didn't put trivia on here.
I didn't write it. She did.
Yeah.
You didn't put trivia on
She
here.
don't want. To
I didn't want to do
anymore.
trivia anymore.
Maybe they'll just forget about it.
Edit
Skip
it on
over
the
it.
I will.
thing if you
Anyway,
would.
sorry.
Pros for its time, I thought the acting was pretty good. The dialogue was okay. Short 80s dialogue.
Right.
Decent cinematography. I think it paved the way for the futuristic robot movies. Score is pretty decent. That's my pros.
Your stomach making some
My
noise.
stomach
over
made a
here?
growling noise.
My cons, CGI didn't age well. I mean, of course. I mean, we were talking about the 80s.
There was no CGI.
It was all claymation.
It was
Was it
all
all
it was all
claymation?
practical effects.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
the
okay.
clay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
CG
Clay, that's
didn't
what I
ex-
say.
CG didn't
Clayface.
exist then,
Yeah,
and if
clay-
it did, it was bad.
Clayface. Movie mistakes, budget, those kind of things. So I gave it a 7 out of 10 for me.
Dad.
For me,
10 out of 10.
not exactly. This movie
We'll get
definitely has its flaws.
For sure.
So I don't. You're right. Some of the practical effects kind of don't hold up.
Yeah.
They don't look bad though. You have to. You get what you expect from the '80s, you know. And I expect that. Mostly just Arnold's face.
Yeah.
That to me was the worst, and I
Some-
can't
some of
really
the
ding
robot.
it too much for that. So
Right.
I didn't even ding it at all.
So also there are some continuity issues here. I think that they could have. But then again,
I didn't ding it for that either. 'Cause
James
it's time
Cameron,
travel.
yeah,
It's the
James
time
Cameron.
travel
Well, that
thing.
James Cameron's not exactly the best writer. He's writing a movie to create a spectacle, and that's what he's known for. He does that with all of his movies. They're all spectacles. There's no James Cameron wasn't out directing Aliens thinking, you know, well, I'm gonna make me a fucking I'm gonna put all this great dialogue in and have this great storyline. No, he's like, no, we're gonna have fun. You know, this is gonna be a fun movie. And that's what happens. He did that with this Terminator 2. He did it with, you know, that's what the Avatar movies are about. So I think that, and for this movie, it also gets a lot more for me for nostalgia reasons, because I grew up on the Terminator. I love the Terminator movies as a kid, especially 2. I don't know how many times I tortured my mom watching that movie so much.
That was the first one I watched too.
I watched this one first, but whenever the second one came out, I lost my shit. Like you said, though, I agree that Linda Hamilton, man, she just owns it, dude. She does so good in these movies, so good. She was like your first real action badass hero, especially in the second one. That like you were like, you know, like you don't fuck with her, dude.
Yeah.
You know, Arnold. You know, I grew up loving him since I was a kid, and these movies are part of the reason, you know, that I loved him so much. This and like True Lies, and which is another James Cameron movie. But I think for me, because of all those reasons, and because it's the fucking Terminator, I'm gonna give this bitch a 8.5. Like it's a really good movie. Not as good as the second one, but still way up there for me. Way up there.
If we pull this.
Well, if you didn't have this one, you wouldn't have the second one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this movie's just awesome. I love, and it's cool to see Arnold as a bad guy. Like
Mhm.
it's cool to see him like be the bad guy. Like he's never a bad guy.
It's
And-
funny. I'm like Eric. I saw the second one before I saw the first one. And I remember seeing, you know, Linda Hamilton's character, see him, you know, for the first time in the second one.
Oh yeah.
See him
wondering,
and like running from him, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what is she?
Yeah. Why is she running away?
And you know, then
Yeah.
like I saw the first one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, got it.
Yeah. That part I could see it being very confusing. But yeah, like the straight
I mean,
up fear.
I knew that he was like the bad guy in the first one, but I didn't know. I don't
The
know. You know, I didn't.
Right.
I didn't quite
Yeah.
get it.
It kind of like throws you for a loop a little bit because, yeah, I can see that. But the first one, man, it's just like I love seeing him as a bad guy. He never plays a bad guy. He's always the hero, you know. So it was cool to see him as a bad guy. Michael Biehn kills it, and I like the way he's portrayed. Like the way he gets a little worked up in some scenes, a little overacted, and that, but.
But again, I'm not sure if that's overacting or if it's, you know what I mean. Like I just.
Well,
I'm
the part
I'm
like
not
where
sure.
he's like, I shouldn't have said that, and he's like putting the pipe bombs in the
Oh,
bag, and
yeah.
it's like being very overdrawn. I was like, dude, chill out. Like,
You're
I shouldn't
gonna
have said that.
explode.
Yeah, like they're gonna blow up for one, and for two,
Yeah.
you know,
Calm.
you're gonna lose an arm,
Yeah.
maybe more. But yeah, I'm gonna go 8.5. It's a solid movie. I love this movie. So,
Okay. so
Madison, what's your score?
I can ask myself that. Thank you
Ask
very
Katy
much.
Perry. She might tell you.
She probably wouldn't like this movie.
Probably not. She's stupid like that.
You're stupid like that. Suck it. Anyways.
Barrier. Talk
um.
about us being a
Bro,
barrier.
but-
Damn.
Anyways, hate on Katy Perry for no reason. What did she ever do to you?
She's
Like, for
fucking
real.
weird.
She's not weird.
Raise your hand if you think Katy Perry's weird.
I just think she's hot.
Me too.
That's got nothing to do with the fact that she is weird.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just
Whatever.
saying too. Like, she's not
I
weird.
think she's married to Orlando Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Anyways, I like this movie. What did you say?
Said he's weird too.
Him?
No, Orlando
Oh.
Bloom. Just give us your rating. Who cares?
Sorry. Okay, so I do look
Way
forward
off
to watching
topic.
the second one whenever we pull it out of the box. Hopefully, I'm gonna laugh if someone pulls it out of the box today.
That would be
The
fun.
se- it would
That would
be,
be
I
fun.
thought about that too. It's like, holy shit.
I think we just say fuck it. We're playing that.
No, I don't want to do both of them back to back. I'm just glad we drew the first one first.
But if we
Yeah.
do, like, you do.
like, if
pull
you
it
would have
out-
drawn Terminator 2, I'd have been like, we're doing Terminator 1 first.
Put
we're
it back.
Put it back.
Put it back.
We'll pull Terminator 1 out.
No, I do look forward to watching the second one because I feel like it would make sense because I don't understand.
I think if we're going to do series like
how
this, we
he-
should throw it in the box just as that movie in order. So, like, say we want to do the Harry Potter franchise. We throw Harry Potter,
We're
just
gonna
Harry
do
Potter
all
in the
those?
box. Just listen. And then as we draw them, we'll do them as we do it, like in a row. Not in a row, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's not a bad idea.
you know, like,
so like,
okay, well,
so you pulled the Terminator, so we watched the Terminator this week, and next week we watch the second one.
no.
No.
I'm saying, like, just put it back in the box, and
As the
eventually we'll
Terminator.
draw it again. Like, oh, it just says the Terminator. Oh, we'll do Terminator 2 because we already did Terminator 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so, like, with Harry Potter, you're like, we just draw. It just says Harry Potter. Like, cool. We're doing the first one, and then put it back in the box. Eventually, you'll draw it again, and you'll do the second one.
I'd be all about doing the Harry Potter stuff.
I love the Harry Potter movies, but they're all kind of the same. like,
Yeah,
they're all the
kinda
same until like the third act.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a problem at Hogwarts, they solve it, and then
He's got a problem at home with his uncle and aunt.
yeah, that's like the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then from there they go to Hogwarts in some weird way, and then they get there, and then they're like, oh, Hagrid needs our help, or something like that, and then they solve the little problem, and then in the third act they're like, okay, there's this issue, this big darker issue is at the end of the movie, so
We got to figure it out.
yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I thought Sarah was kind of pretty. I mean, like, really pretty. Like the girl. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Linda Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was pretty, but her hair was weird.
That's
Ozzy
just
Osbourne.
that's the
I know.
80s.
I know. It was
That's
the
that
80s
80s style
I know.
hair, yeah.
I just.
And
I,
Ozzy Osbourne.
She looked like Ozzy
She
Osbourne.
looked like Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah.
yeah.
Ozzy
I
Osbourne
know.
was pretty.
He was
pretty,
actually
Kind
though.
of. He was a pretty guy.
The acting was good for it being 80s. I think. I haven't watched a lot of 80s movies, but
Oh my god, we should put more 80s movies in this box.
A lot of short dialogue. in 80s
yeah, I
movies.
know. That's why I never watched them.
Raising Arizona.
Anyways,
That's a good one.
I'll give it a 7.
A 7? That's pretty high for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
For someone like, well, that's not even him. Like, that's not even like Ozzy Osbourne late 80s. That's
No.
like
That's like
70s Ozzy Osbourne.
I know.
Find him in the 80s and like show it to her because
Yeah,
it's gonna
you
be like,
show her the Ozzy with the perm.
Okay.
yeah, he's got the perm
Yeah,
going
he
on.
had the
That's her,
perm.
dude.
Yeah.
And that's like him and like Ozzy Osbourne, like the band.
Ozzy's 80s perm.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's her hair.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's Ozzy Osbourne.
Bullseye.
Yep.
I was trying to find one where he's not like,
Oh,
just like
yeah.
Just
that'll
regular
really
perm.
No,
like
that just makes it better.
drive it home, but yeah.
All right.
No, all right.
That's
Is it
almost
trivia
right there.
before Rotten Tomatoes or Rotten Tomatoes?
You do Rotten
Right.
Tomatoes first, but hold
Yeah.
on. Let me
Let's
swap
try
this.
it.
Oh,
battery
wait.
out.
Oh,
Look.
okay.
Here you go. That's even better. That's more like what her hair looked like in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madison.
So, hold on.
So is there a way you can like? Hold on, it's loading. My phone's.
See, he is the one egging me on. He keeps hitting
What am
me
I
with that thing.
What am I doing?
I'm gonna split you two up.
Thank
Knock
you.
your shit
Thank
off.
you.
God damn it. Put your ass. You in that corner. You in that corner. Done.
Did you see it?
What I did?
I don't care. I'm about to bust both your asses.
I didn't even do anything. I'm sitting here
Fuck.
listening. I'm sitting here
Eric's
trying
like,
to help.
don't thread me with a good
I'm
time.
sitting here trying to help your daughter with my hands like this,
Okay.
not doing a damn thing.
Stop being a
So do we
tattletale.
do critic or audience first?
What?
Critic or audience? First?
Critic.
All right. So what do you guys think it is?
75. No, 78.
I'm going 82.
Fuck you guys. I was gonna go 80. Now I don't want to.
You got to be in the middle. I'm 82. You're probably going better. Probably go a little lower.
I was gonna say, I might go
Nowadays,
lower.
audience
What was yours?
I was
We're
78.
doing critics.
78. I'm going 75.
75. You
I
guys
said
want the
82.
answer, or do you want me to leave you on a cliffhanger?
You just tell us,
Yeah.
genius.
It's 100%.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
For
Yeah.
critics?
Uh huh. Yeah, because I wrote it
Yeah,
down
I
and
know.
it's on here.
Fuck you both.
Really?
Yeah.
100%?
That's the
Yeah.
first. That's a first.
That is a first. That's a like. That's weird that the first one, like the second one, I could see being 100%.
Yeah, I could see that one being 100%.
Like that one's like people love that movie, but
Yeah.
like the first one, okay.
All right, what do you guys
Rick-
think the audience is?
Oh, that one's
83.
82. You son of a bitch. 84.
Fuck you.
84.
$1 me.
Yeah, I did. 84.
Fucking price is
84,
right. I said 83.
83. I'm going 75 again. I don't know.
Karen takes this one with 89.
89?
Mm-hmm.
Man, people really like this movie. I didn't
I
realize
mean,
that.
honestly, it's
That's
it's
a good
such
movie,
a good
but
movie.
I didn't know like those were
I
scores that I
really
was expecting out of
think-
the second
I
one.
really think it goes back to what I said about the ending. The first time you see that ending, honestly,
Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah,
and I mean, just
it
because
really
you,
lands with people.
yeah, just because you go back and watch it again and you go, now wait,
That's
but
trying
the
to
first
find
time
a
you see
low
that,
rating.
you're literally
I found
like,
one, but
holy shit.
Mhm.
I have to load the next page.
I agree.
to find the rest.
Okay,
Okay,
critics
so-
consensus.
Here's a half of a 1 star. It says
No, hold on.
can't-
Critics consensus.
Oh, yeah.
Critics.
It's at the very
Third.
top under
Or-
the
I know.
scores.
I
It's
see,
okay.
I see it. It's right
It's
here.
okay.
It's right here. It's right here. Okay. With its impressive action sequences, taut economic direction, and relentlessly fast pace, it's clear why the Terminator continues to be an influence on sci-fi and action flicks.
Okay, well the critics are retarded, so
Yeah.
because they just threw a bunch of random words together. Like, oh, this is what we think.
They used a lot of words to say nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they
That's
did.
your thing.
There was a half of a 1 star. It says, "Can this be over? It's so played out."
What was it?
Can this be over?
It's so played out.
Okay,
Was
but
it-
this is the first
Yeah, I was about to
movie,
say, this-
not
you
the
can't say
eighth.
it's played out
Like,
when
yeah,
it's
I would
the
understand if
first.
you're like talking about like Dark Fate or something. Like, I understand being pissed off about that, but like the first fucking movie.
$20
John-
says that's
okay,
somebody
so
that
John
watches
F.
every Scream movie that comes out and loves
Probably.
it.
and loves it.
John F.
I
gave
I
it
remember
2.
he's seen a John F. in one of our reviews before. This is gonna be a good one.
Is it the one that from the Matrix?
I
that
think
was
so.
like-
I think there was a John F. and like a
Maybe
John
it's the same
something
guy
else.
that did. I was 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
So, let's
Okay,
hear this
so
one.
John F gave it 2 star. He said, "Was just boring, straightforward chase scene with gun battles. I feel like this movie has such high reviews because it's a pop culture icon and not because it's actually entertaining."
Both reasons.
It's a pop culture icon
Yeah.
because it's entertaining. A
Yeah.
dumb.
Right, exactly.
It didn't become a pop culture
Yeah.
icon because.
Because for
Okay.
no reason.
I
Like
mean-
it has to have a reason to be that.
Yeah.
And it's because it was such a good action flick for the 80s.
Wow.
Okay, so Dax R gave it 2-star review too. He said, "I just have never liked any of the Terminator movies."
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
But why?
stupid. Yeah, why?
Yeah.
And if not why, then shut the fuck up. Why are you even here?
I hate it
Why
when
are
they
you
just
reviewing
say
something you don't
say
like
something like say
watching,
why
period?
though.
well,
like,
even
say
then,
why.
like even if you're not a fan of this of the
Why are
movies,
you watching it?
why are you watching it and why are you reviewing it?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
that'd be like if I said, like I told Madison, I'm not a Katy Perry fan. You know, but like
You go on
you go
every
on her-
single
but
one
I
of
go
her
on and
music
like
videos.
like
This is the 8th
Yeah,
one
I
I've
go on her
watched,
YouTube
and they
videos.
still suck.
I've watched all her music videos and I hate every one of them. Like, then why are you watching them? Like,
That's like those people that go to a restaurant and they're like, "This is the 8th time I've been here and it's been bad every time."
yeah, right.
Then why do you keep
Why do
coming
you keep
back?
going back?
And I've cleaned my
All
plate
of these are,
every
like,
time.
Every time.
4 and 5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard. To find
It's gonna be
out.
hard.
Yeah,
because
you don't have to
you don't
read
have
like
to
a
highly
bunch of
reviewed.
them.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll move into trivia.
Yeah, trivia.
Alright, trivia.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
While shooting this film, James Cameron often resorted to what he called guerrilla filmmaking as a way of getting around acquiring permits needed to film certain scenes. This involved the production crew and actors quickly arriving at a specified location, shooting the scene, and leaving before
I've
the
heard
police
of this.
arrived.
I've heard of people doing this shit.
Yeah. As a result,
Awesome.
some of the people seen in a few shots are actual everyday citizens completely unaware that they're in a movie. This was also
You
used
can't
for...
do that. No,
I know.
You get sued for
No.
that shit.
This was also used for reshoots, with Cameron even calling and waking Arnold Schwarzenegger once at 3 a.m. to meet him at a location already in full costume to quickly reshoot a scene. Cameron also used this tactic to film the very last scene where Sarah drives off into the desert, waiting for the heat to rise to the point that ripples could be filmed. A highway patrolman appeared. Producer Gail Ann Hurd convinced him that they were working on a UCLA film project, and he allowed them to finish.
He could have probably just said, "We're filming this badass movie about a Terminator coming back in time to kill this lady, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to watch it. It's going to be a good action for that cop." Probably been like, "Okay."
I doubt it.
You don't think?
But no, I don't think so. But I mean, it depends on the cop. But
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Well,
probably
most cops
still
are like, "Yeah, dude, that sounds
Probably still
amazing."
Had to have certain permits
Yeah.
back then too. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
But I'm sure he was like watching it later and was like, "Wait a minute,
Wait a minute.
that doesn't look like
Yeah.
a UCLA
that
film.
James guy lied to me.
That's not a UCLA film."
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger worked with guns every day for a month to prepare for the role. The first 2 weeks of filming, he practiced weapons, stripping and reassembling blindfolded until the motions were automatic, like a machine. He spent hours at the shooting
Makes
range
sense.
and practicing with different weapons, trying to not blink or looking at them when reloading or cocking weapons. He also had to be ambidextrous. He practiced different moves up to 50 times. He wound up garnering a compliment in Soldier of Fortune magazine for his realistic handling of the guns on camera, whereas the magazine usually lampoons movies for their inaccurate depictions of weapons use.
Yeah.
At around the 23-minute mark near the beginning of the movie, when Sarah Connor receives a message on her answering machine, breaking her date, the voice on the machine is James Cameron. Years later, Hamilton and Cameron got married and subsequently divorced.
Oh,
They did divorce?
Yeah,
Oh,
they've
I
been
didn't know
divorced
they
for a
divorced.
few years now. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger tried to avoid Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn as much as possible, since the Terminator was trying to kill them to not form any connections. Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally being considered to play Kyle Reese instead of the Terminator.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The bodybuilder turned actor made something of a name for himself in The Long Goodbye, Pumping Iron, and Conan the Barbarian. And when Orion Pictures executive Mike Medavoy met the actor at a party, he sent him the script for consideration. James Cameron, however, had envisioned Reese as a non-bulky and more sensitive man, so he was less than enthusiastic about casting a former Mr. Universe in the pivotal role.
I mean, you could see, like, you know, if they made Arnold Schwarzenegger as Kyle Reese and Kyle Reese as the Terminator.
I couldn't. I can't.
I can't
my
picture
point
it the
is
other way.
If that guy overpowered Arnold, obviously he has to be
Right?
robot,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I agree with James Cameron. Like, I couldn't imagine like
no.
some big hulking dude coming from the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I only imagine like somebody like you would have to be like Kyle Reese, like underfed,
Yeah, underfed,
skinny,
exactly.
scrawny, kind of weak. You know? Yeah. Like that's the like Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back as being Kyle Reese and coming back from the future. That's not realistic. You're like, hold on. So are you just there lifting weights all day in the
Right.
future and getting jacked? Where do you
Lifting
get all
cars,
your
probably.
food? Yeah, lifting cars and I'm lifting robots. You know what I mean? Like I lift robots all day.
I leave the robots and I throw them
I
at
throw
them.
them at things. I throw them at themselves. Yeah, but like I
I beat
couldn't
them with their own arms.
Yeah, I beat them with their own limbs. So I couldn't imagine like it was like, dude, where do you find all your fucking carbs? Like
Yeah.
like do they have ice cream in the future? Like
Largely on Medavoy's insistence, Cameron went out to meet and have lunch with him anyway. He later admitted that he had planned to pick a fight with Schwarzenegger so that he could claim that the actor was impossible to work with. But against his expectations, they got along just fine, and Schwarzenegger showed great enthusiasm about the script in general and its dark antagonist in particular, providing tips on how this villain should behave. It was then that Cameron had a change of heart and offered Schwarzenegger the title role of the Terminator, saying that this movie is not about the hero, it's about the Terminator. Schwarzenegger gladly accepted, even overruling his agent who advised him against playing villains. Cameron and Schwarzenegger have been good friends ever since.
Yep.
O.J. Simpson was considered for the Terminator, but
Yep.
producers feared that he was too
Too
nice
nice.
to
Yeah,
be
too
taken
nice.
seriously as a cold-blooded
Yeah, I
killer.
remember
it's
hearing
fucking
about that
hilarious, dude.
Yeah. In the film, the name of the nightclub where the Terminator first targets Sarah was named Tech Noir after a film genre which James Cameron coined himself in describing what category this film falls under after dismissing the notions that it was a mere horror or slasher film. Tech noir films like Blade Runner and this film combine the old-style grittiness of noir films with the futuristic elements of a sci-fi thriller. Cameron himself had the club built specifically for the film and had to turn away local club goers who thought Tech Noir was a real nightclub. The building still exists, but is now a jewelry store.
Oh, now it's a jewelry store.
Mhm.
I thought they reopened Tech Noir or something.
Mm-mm.
But I knew that James Cameron had made the club.
Yeah, he made the
and
club.
then I thought that they had just left it open.
He's
as
just
a
not
club.
good at designing clubs, is what we were getting
That's
at.
sort of that's what I says. Like the drop ceiling makes it look like a fucking hall.
Mhm.
Like you're renting
Like
it out
an
for
office
your,
building.
like your wedding reception's gonna be there
Yeah.
or something.
At around 59 minutes, Arnold Schwarzenegger's famous line, "I'll be back," was originally scripted as "I'll come back." Arnold Schwarzenegger had his eyebrows insured at Lloyd's of London as he feared that they might not grow back properly after he shaved them for the scene where he runs over a car on fire in the alley after the Tech Noir shootout.
I didn't know they shaved them off. I thought they just put like prosthetics over.
it looked like
They
there was
shaved them
actually
fuckers off,
prosthetics
man.
over it.
Could you
That
imagine?
sucks.
Could you imagine going up to like an insurance salesman? I want to insure my eyebrows.
I mean, it's no different. J-Lo's got insurance on her ass. You know what I
know,
mean?
but
Like,
these are your eyebrows as hair. It's gonna
I know,
come
I'm
back.
like, dude,
Like,
it's fucking great, dude.
that's like your beard.
I want insurance.
I want to put insurance on my beard. I'm gonna shave it off today, but I want to make sure that it grows back properly.
And if it doesn't, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Like, that's so funny though. Like, why didn't they just put a prosthetic? That's what they do with Eflin. I didn't know he actually shaved them off.
It looked like there was prosthetics.
That's what I thought. I was like,
over it.
that's got to be a prosthetic. No, they shaved the bitches. Like, they went down to the skin. They do wax it.
I don't know.
Like, goddamn, that is some shiny ass eyebrow shavage.
The Terminator is the only character to be listed in the American Film Institute's 100 Heroes and Villains as both a villain and a hero. Al Pacino and Arnold Schwarzenegger are the only two actors to be on the list as playing a villain and a hero, but Pacino played two different characters. 13 other actors and actresses appear twice or more, but either all as heroes or all as villains. At around 36 minutes, Michael Biehn and Arnold Schwarzenegger are in the same frame together only once. It is when Kyle blasts the Terminator the second time at Tech Noir. When they finally meet in the factory, it is not Schwarzenegger, it's just a metallic puppet. At around 37 minutes, a hydraulic arm was used when the Terminator punched through the windshield in the alley scene. This was rehearsed several times, and since Arnold Schwarzenegger's face was in the shot too, it all had to be choreographed perfectly since replacing a windshield was too costly and time-consuming. James Cameron cited The Road Warrior as one of the influences behind the Terminator. In Terminator 2 Judgment Day, John Connor's dog's name is Max.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone was considered for the Terminator but declined. Coincidentally, a year after, James Cameron and Sylvester and Stallone wrote Rambo First Blood Part 2 together. Also, there was a competition between Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger's success in action movies about who would win in a battle,
Yep.
Rambo or the Terminator. Stallone later worked with Arnold on the Expendables movies and Escape Plan. In Last Action Hero, a scene features a video store cardboard cutout of Stallone as the Terminator.
Yeah.
The Terminator's motorcycle was later displayed in Arnold Schwarzenegger's restaurant, Planet Hollywood. Though it is now considered a sci-fi classic, this film was originally conceived and written as a horror movie. If you strip away the robots and time travel plot, it is very similar to a slasher film and borrows many of the genre's tropes.
I see it. I think it is.
Oh, absolutely.
A horror movie.
I agree.
I view it as a horror
I agree,
movie.
100%.
I think it's an action horror movie.
For sure. Most prominently from Halloween and Halloween 2, the Terminator is the movie's unstoppable killer who silently stalks an innocent woman, killing all of her loved ones until he is in turn killed off in a creative way. Sarah Connor is the movie's final girl, who is strong enough to outsmart the killer and the only one to make it out alive.
Could you imagine Scream 2 having Sidney Prescott like as Sarah Connor? Like just fucking ripped and like I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like,
isn't it in one of the Scream movies where they're talking about Terminator and he's like, Sarah Connor, or he's like, yeah, Sarah Connor, yes, like where they're describing the movie.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know which movie.
I think it was Randy talking about it. But they're talking about it because he's like, he says Sarah Connor's totally a final girl, and they're talking about it. And he's
I think so.
You know.
I think that might actually be in the first one.
It might be.
It might be in the first one.
Yeah, he's like, Sarah Connor, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine like Sidney Prescott or like Nancy coming back and being like all shredded and shit? Like, I'm gonna fuck Freddy up. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what Alice did.
Yeah. She
I
did.
mean-
In 5, yeah.
4. And 5 is Dream Child.
Don't.
Was it
Don't-
before?
don't-
Yeah,
don't
I think you're
argue
right.
with her
No, I
about
wasn't
it.
gonna argue with her.
Don't
I-
question Karen on this.
Because I know she gets like she puts on the bandana and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
5 is Dream
Yeah,
Child.
you're right. Because that's they're in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then 5 is Dream Child because she has the kid with the dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, another movie, another time.
Yeah, another movie, another time. The end of the film also employs many of the slasher's genre's techniques and scare tactics. A final showdown in an enclosed and isolated place where no one can help, crawling through tight, cramped, and dangerous spaces to escape, and the killer coming back for a final scare multiple times. Also note that per tradition, a character who says that he will be back, the Terminator, dies in the end. And the killer, despite dying at the end, returns in one or more sequels. That being said, contrary to these slasher movie tropes, the heroes have actual access to weapons, which they use against the killer. To little avail, though. The Terminator becomes one of the few unstoppable killers of the genre to use firearms as his main weapon. Kyle Reese is one of the few boyfriends of the genre who dies trying to protect the final girl, but due to his own intervention and not directly by the hands of the killer. And Sarah Connor is one of the few final girls of the genre to have sex in the picture and make it out alive. Contrary,
She's hardcore, but that's why she comes back in the second one like a bad bitch.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, Lance Henriksen was never going to be the Terminator. However, James Cameron based some of his early sketches of the Terminator on Henriksen's likeness. He also helped Cameron pitch the film to producers in a rather unique way. He prepared himself for the meeting by dressing up in a leather jacket and black boots, adding cuts to his head, and putting gold foil in his teeth. 15 minutes before the actual meeting was about to take place, he stormed into the Hemdale front office and marched towards the staff, which frightened them.
I've heard of this.
He then took a seat and silently stared at the producers, which made them gradually uncomfortable. When Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd arrived, Henriksen left the room. He later overheard that one of the producers even said to them, "I don't care who you use for the Terminator, just not him." Lance Henriksen is the best,
He
man.
is,
Like
he's
he's
awesome.
oh
dude.
my
I
god.
fucking love Lance Henriksen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that if Lance Henriksen would have played the Terminator, I could probably get behind that. Like I know that like with what you have as Arnold Schwarzenegger, this big hulking dude as the machine, but like if you had something, if you didn't have that,
I could see him.
picture him as the Terminator because he's got that facial structure. He's got that like he can play that like
he
that
has
dead
the eyes.
The eyes. I could see it.
I could see it more in the second one though, as the metallic, because he doesn't have to be bulking. He doesn't have to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're talking about no, because with that I see a smooth, baby-faced kind of a person with that. Like I could see why because of the liquid metal thing, but like with him, I don't know, man, because his skin and his face is so rough that like.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying like with the T800 being that metallic, not, being that full metal skeleton. I almost think you have to have a big guy.
Probably,
or it doesn't
I guess.
sell. It doesn't sell
I
as
guess
well.
also like Lance Henriksen. I guess if a robot, they're gonna make robots and they're gonna make them look human-like. They're gonna try to make them look as perfect a human as possible.
Yeah.
Like with Arnold's
I just
hair
don't see that
and his nice bone structure.
Yeah,
and
I
shit
just
like
don't see that it would sell as well if you have a puny guy with that
Right.
metal one. Like
Right.
especially once you see that skeleton, I just don't think it would sell.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Jennifer Jason Leigh was seriously considered for the role of Sarah Connor,
I'm
but
glad.
yeah.
Oh,
But
that'd
James
be bad.
Cameron feared she was too young for the part. She
Too
was
young
later
and too dull.
too
She'd be
drunk.
talking through, too
Remember?
drunk and talking through her teeth.
She
yeah,
was
I know.
she was later recast as Ginger.
Just felt like a camel or something right there.
She was
Like a horse, like
she was later recast as Ginger, but was replaced at the last minute by Bess Mata. I almost think that
Wait, that was the roommate?
yeah, she would have been
I
better
didn't even know
as
her
Ginger,
fucking
maybe.
name. No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. Her dancing around and shit, like she's drunk.
I know.
Like,
I think she might have maybe told them to ditch the fucking headphones.
she might have. Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
she's like,
saying?
I think the headphones are.
She's
too
she's
much.
actually pretty professional, you know.
Right.
She I don't think she would. Anyway,
I don't know. The headphones were fucking fucking annoying.
Yeah,
though.
she's like the worst character in movie
She
history.
is. Yeah, she might be. Honestly, she might be one of my least. Like watching her in the movie.
Die was like,
Well, like it was the best part, but like that was
The
the best part. But
I
like
felt
watching
terrible.
her, I was like, she's getting on my fucking nerves.
you
Like
know,
just watching
when she
her,
died, I felt so sad
that
for the
she
sandwich.
Couldn't...
Like that was that
Yeah.
sandwich looked really good.
It did look good. She made a good sandwich.
Yeah, and then she got killed before
Before it got
could be eaten.
Before it could be eaten. Yeah, right. I think they should have let the boyfriend live and just killed her off.
Yeah, let him
She
eat
got
the
on
sandwich.
my nerves so much.
Let-
the man
Like
have
watching
a
her
sandwich.
dance everywhere.
Yeah, let the man have a sandwich.
And then she's like dancing everywhere doing this shit. And I'm like, take off the headphones, you idiot.
Yeah,
Like, god
Arnold should
damn.
have picked up the sandwich and ate it.
I don't know how
that would have been
like
funny.
I don't know how fucking Sarah wasn't like, I can't believe this bitch is my roommate. Like
Well, Sarah was a different person then.
she-
New,
well, yeah.
new Sarah would have probably punched her in
New
the
Sarah
face.
wouldn't even have that shit. She'd be like, I'm gonna duct tape you to the wall. You know what I mean? Like,
I can just.
Shut up, bitch.
All I
Cleaning my
think-
guns.
All I think is problem child at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, Merv, good old Merv. The screenplay is officially credited to James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, with additional dialogue by William Wisher. In reality, Cameron and Wisher were the main contributors. Wisher did the dialogue for the early Sarah Connor scenes and the police station sequences, while Cameron focused on the rest. They would update each other daily on their progress over the phone. Hurd's role was mainly in editing the script. She had put her name on it so that it would make it an easier sales pitch, but she ended up getting a full writing credit for this film and other Terminator-related projects as a result, despite not doing any of the actual writing. Cameron said that he was somewhat disappointed that Hurd never set the record straight, but what annoyed him even more was that people automatically assumed that making a woman the central character was Hurd's idea, while it was in fact his. Bruce
Amber Heard?
Gail.
No. She's like, Cameron, you're gonna put me in this movie, I'm gonna shit in your bed.
I think she was probably still too little.
She probably wouldn't even fucking
She probably was pooping in a diaper at that
Yeah.
point.
She was putting rabbit
She was
turds in the bed.
practicing in her diaper.
Practicing.
One of these days, I'm gonna get you, Johnny Depp. I'm
I'm gonna do this in your bed.
I'm gonna do this in your. She's watching him on the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Like, I'm gonna get you, Glenn. It's funny how he died in a bed,
And then he got.
and then that's probably where she got the idea. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he likes beds, huh? A bed, you say? Yeah, I'm gonna shit in your bed. Sorry,
This
continue.
gives me an idea.
This gives me ideas. I don't know how to kill people in their sleep, but I know how to shit in their beds.
Bruce Willis, the English pop star Sting, Matt Dillon, Tommy Lee Jones, Mickey Rourke, Christopher Reeve, Kurt Russell, and Treat Williams were all considered for the role of Kyle Reese.
Hold on, review.
Kurt
Okay,
Russell,
so
maybe?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Yeah, okay, I could get behind that. I can get behind.
Bruce Willis, maybe not so much in the
Mickey
80s, but,
Rourke. I could
but
do
the,
Mickey
the
Rourke.
ego too much.
Mickey Rourke back in the 80s. I could see that.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Tommy
he had
Lee
that, he
Jones.
had that pretty face. I think
No.
Tom. No,
Mm.
really?
Mm.
Maybe he does have that rough face though. You know?
Kurt Russell as Snake.
As who?
Kurt Russell
Snake.
could do it.
Make him come as like.
I would
Snake.
love to see Kurt Russell. I would have been behind that 100%. Because I love Kurt Russell.
Are
though.
we recasting right now?
No,
No,
we're
I'm-
just. She's saying who
They were all
They were
considered
all-
for
I'm
the
just
role.
saying-
considered for the role.
Oh.
Snake Plissken.
Terminator doesn't stand a chance, dude.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, it's
Arnold
over.
doesn't stand a chance against.
Like,
Snake.
and if
You know-
I can
Thank-
just see like James Cameron's like, this isn't how it's supposed to end, Kurt.
I don't care.
You know what, Dad? You know what would have been great as Sarah?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Mm,
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, huh? Haven't
Wanda
you ever seen her
Sykes.
music videos? She makes a pretty hot freaking army person.
I don't.
That's
No,
just
no.
a music video version of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no.
she
Wanda Sykes.
can do it.
Wanda Sykes as Sarah Connor.
Kurt Russell.
Bitch, you better get over there and fight that robot.
Sting? No.
No, not Sting. I couldn't get behind that. I don't like Sting though.
Treat Williams.
I don't know who that is.
I'm just gonna say no.
I'm gonna
Just
say no
trust
too
me.
because I don't know who he is.
Just trust me. Tom Selleck was rumored to be cast as the Terminator, but was forced to turn the role down due to his commitment to the TV series Magnum P.I.
With a mustache?
Did you ever see that clip from that show?
I don't.
He's like walking away from like a monastery. It's Magnum PI. He's like walking away from like this monastery, and there's like this nun cleaning a window.
The nun thing.
And she goes, "Have a great day," and he's like, "You too." Wait, nuns don't work on Sunday, and he rolls around and starts shooting at her.
Oh my God. Wait, nuns don't work on Sunday. What the fuck?
It's hilarious.
Tom Selleck is stupid.
Kevin Kline and Michael Douglas were also considered for the role.
No.
I agree. Gina Davis auditioned for the role of Sarah Connor.
I could probably get behind that.
Yeah,
But
at
only
the time,
because I
yeah.
love Gina Davis.
Oh, absolutely. Well, dude, she played in we talked about it. Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah.
It's the same character essentially. Ditzy.
Yeah, kind
know
of
what I'm saying?
ditzy. Comes into her own by the end.
Yeah. And then
I can
later
see
she
that.
plays very strong characters, so she
was,
can do
I mean,
both.
she was like in Beetlejuice too, is almost the same character.
Yeah, she can do
Kind
both.
of comes into her own by the end of the movie.
Yeah, she can do both.
I like Gina Davis.
I do
though.
too.
She was in The Fly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She can do ditzy and strong. She could do it. Subplot had Sarah come to the realization that even if they managed to destroy the T-800, Skynet would just send another one after her and keep going until she was dead. This marks a notable shift in her character, where she goes from frantically running and relying on Kyle to pressuring him to help her destroy Skynet once and for all. She planned to use the pipe bombs to blow up the Cyberdyne Systems facility that would eventually become Skynet. This also explains that her and Kyle ending up in the Cyberdyne robotics factory at the climax wasn't an accident. They were deliberately planning to blow the place to hell. This storyline would later be followed up as a major subplot in the sequel. Sarah Connor was supposed to be 18 in the movie, although Linda Hamilton was 27. Leah Thompson revealed in a 2015 interview with the Nerdist podcast that she auditioned for the role of Sarah Connor.
Who?
Leah Thompson. Marty McFly's mom.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay.
The writers...
God damn, how old would she have been? She'd have been young. Like really young.
Well, she was in her late 20s or early 30s when she played Marty's mom.
Oh, Leah Thompson. I'm thinking of fucking, what's her face from the Karate Kid movies?
No.
What's her name?
Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue, yeah. Leah Thompson?
No.
She doesn't have that like rough edge to her, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I don't think I could see it.
I can't see her like cleaning guns and...
Yeah, like maybe in the second one, but like in the first one even, I'm like, you gotta have a rough edge for that like that third act, you know?
Although she was in a Tales from the Crypt episode where she was kind of a bitch.
I mean, I could see
She
her as a
might be
bitch, but like
yeah.
a rough around the edges though? Like kind of like that hard edged kind of...
Yeah, I don't know.
By the end of the movie, like she has to, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We've never seen her roll like something. Maybe she could do it. I don't know.
Yeah, she might be able to.
But I love Leah Thompson though. Like it sucks that we don't see her in anything anymore. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
The writers have admitted the whole "nothing dead will go" rule has no scientific basis, and it was conceived purely as a drama-preserving handicap, as otherwise Reese could just bring a BFG or two back with him to kill the Terminator, and the movie would be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly. Plot holes.
Yeah. In the fourth sequel, Terminator Genesis, it is retroactively explained that any exposed metal will cause a catastrophic reaction as it heats up excessively during
That's
the time
why they have to be
displacement
coated in
process,
synthetic. Blah,
in
blah,
the
blah.
same way as a microwave.
Yep.
The character of Kyle Reese was the model for Solid Snake in the artwork for the original Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Christian symbolism in the movie. John Connor shares the initials of Jesus Christ, and both of them are said to be saviors of humanity, mankind's only hope. Both of them are born to a mother who is impregnated in mysterious circumstances. One is impregnated by God while still a virgin, the other by a man sent from the future. Furthermore, when Kyle materializes, he has scars on his back where an angel's wings would be, suggesting that he is heaven sent. These are fan-based things.
Oh, okay. So fan theories and shit.
Yeah. James Cameron has also talked about the scars placement and things like that, which I found interesting, but
I doubt he was thinking like James Cameron don't think that heavily into his shit.
I'm only saying that.
Well, I'm just saying like, yo, okay, that sounds cool. I'm gonna go with that. If that's something that you
Kind
would
of like
do.
in was it in Joker when they were like, all the clocks at 11:11, and he was like, huh, well, that's weird.
Right, exactly. Like he just kind of ran with it. Like, yeah, that sounds cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus
I
Christ,
did
he
that
does.
on
He does
purpose.
have the same initials. I did that on purpose. Like, I'm glad you caught that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's the symbology
what's
there?
the symbology there?
First time Bill Paxton, the punk leader, gets punched by Arnold Schwarzenegger. The second time was in True Lies, 1994.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I forgot I put that in here. Brad Feidel's score was written to emulate a mechanical man and his heartbeat. I didn't know that.
Who?
Brad Fiedel, the score for the movie.
Oh, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's supposed to
Okay,
be like,
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
that's kind of interesting, right? I thought that was
I
interesting.
know that I heard that like they came to him later on about the score for the movie, and he was like, and they're like, so how? Because he's not a like I guess he wasn't like a professional like composer to begin with, and he's like, they're like, yeah, so we want to do this with your thing, and like, could you have the music notes or whatever? Do you have the music score for the movie? They're like, he's like, yeah, about that. He goes, he didn't actually have it all out in musical notes because apparently it was like a random thing.
Yeah,
that
like he literally
can't be written out in musical notes. It was so weird.
He didn't write it in music. He like just kind of recorded it or whatever.
It was like,
and
this
he-
sounds cool, you know.
He
and-
retroactively had somebody who could write music write it. After.
right. Yeah, he had to after the fact
Yeah.
because he wasn't actually a composer.
Yeah. Michael Douglas, Kevin Kline, Randy
This looks
Quaid.
cool. What does this do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a cool sound. What are those? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, yeah, I like that. Maybe give it more bass, though. Yeah, okay. Oh, bum, 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 bum. Hold on now. Back it up a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's it.
Is that kind of like Axel F?
Yeah, I did this. It's like doing shit on your phone nowadays. Like, I like that. That's cool. Can we put that in my movie? Sure, here it is. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Go nuts with it.
Michael Douglas, Kevin Kline, Randy Quaid, Ron Perlman, Stephen Lang, Chevy Chase, Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Richard Gere, Robin Williams, Jack Nicholson, Martin Sheen, Kevin Costner, and John Travolta were all strongly considered for the role of the Terminator.
Robin
Wait,
Williams?
Chevy Chase? Chevy
Really?
Chase.
John Travolta.
Robin Williams. Could you imagine Robin Williams in there as the fucking Terminator?
I don't work with the males because I used to be one.
I'll be back. You know, like, what the fuck?
I want to see that now.
Hello! Sarah Connor home?
Just anytime he walks in a room.
Hello! I'm here to kill Sarah Connor.
Right.
Oh, Christ.
I couldn't do
That'd
it.
be
dude.
awesome.
That would be a comedy. It's not even a horror anymore. It's
Well,
just a
back then
comedy.
nobody knew him for that, so maybe he could get away with
Maybe
it.
he was
Like-
trying. I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know.
That would be so fucking awesome.
The scene where Kyle Reese first arrives in the alley was filmed in the same location as Nadia calling Jim from a payphone in American Pie 2, which also the reason I included this because that's not very cool, right?
very, very cool.
But which also in American Pie 2 was going to have Bill Paxton as Stifler's dad.
Really?
So that's why I included that one because that's the cool part of that part of trivia.
I don't know that Bill. Did he agree to this?
He was cast and then it was cut.
I'm glad it was cut. I couldn't do Bill Paxton in an American Pie movie.
I'm only telling you.
I know.
That's
I
funny
couldn't
though.
do it,
Like
though.
it's
It is funny, but I'm like, I'm glad he didn't do it or it got cut or whatever because I'm like, Bill Paxton, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I think they'll be like that's scraping the bottom of the barrel for him. I think.
Yeah. He did Frailty though, so all is forgiven.
Right. but that was before
It doesn't
American
matter.
Pie.
It doesn't matter when it was done.
It
doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter.
The Terminator companion novel does give an explanation as to why the skin rots. The T-800 has an organic heart in its chest cavity, the only real organ it has in its entire body, for the purpose of pumping blood into the skin. The novel explains that when Kyle fired all those shotgun
He
rounds,
farted all them shots.
dead center into the T-800's chest. They ruptured the heart, and thus blood was no longer being pumped into the skin. While later movies are presumably forgetting this was even a thing, it's possible that the T-800 and T-850 and T-2 and T-3 weren't given the chance to rot because they sacrificed themselves before it could happen. And that's the end of trivia.
There's a lot of
Dang.
trivia. We got to start compensating because like we're over 3 minutes right now. So like we got to start
Usually,
thinking about like.
I don't have that much trivia.
Well,
but for
for
this
the
one, there
older
was
movie,
so
older
much.
movies, you're gonna have a lot of trivia.
Well, I've actually like even for the older ones, not written as much down, but there was a lot of interesting stuff for this one.
Yeah, because it's awesome. And I can't. Robin Williams is a Terminator.
Fucking awesome.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucking great. I'm sure there was a couple of other people in there that you said that would
That
be
was the one that
interesting.
stuck.
But Robin Williams was like, hold on,
Wait, did you just say
Robin Williams?
Chevy Chase was in there too?
Oh yeah, Chevy
Yeah,
Chase
so
was one of them.
Chevy Chase. I'm like,
I definitely
I
couldn't
could not
see that.
Chevy
man.
Chase.
Mm-mm.
I would give Robin Williams the role before Chevy Chase
Yeah.
for
100%.
Terminator. Like that's weird.
He's just a dick. Chevy
Wait,
Chase.
that I don't know, his hairline. His hairline would
just
like,
give him a hat.
give him a hat.
Yeah.
Okay, Terminator run around with a hat.
give him,
Oh,
give
Robin
him a cowboy hat.
Hold on,
I bought that Robin Williams. Is the best one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, here Robin Williams is the Terminator. You got Wanda Sykes,
Right.
Sarah Connor.
All right.
Kurt Russell is Scott
All right.
Reeves.
Next week, what will we be going over?
Oh, we get to pick from the box.
Uh-huh.
The box.
Don't set it on the table. You
What's in
ruin
the
everything.
box?
The box.
Shake it.
The box.
Shake it,
Who wants
shake
to
it,
hold it?
shake
I
it.
get to pick, right?
Shake
It's
it.
I
Yeah,
host
I'll
next
hold
week.
it.
Shake it.
I get to host next week.
Shake it.
Shake it.
Okay, you're good.
Take out a light or something. Hold on. Watch your face, Karen. There's not a lot in here.
Shut no.
I've been trying to think of stuff to refill it with.
Terminator 2. I'm just
You're
kidding.
kidding. Oh.
Blade Runner 2049.
Hell yeah! I
Can
haven't
we?
watched it yet.
Can we do? I mean, should we?
I haven't-
Before the first Blade Runner?
Oh, I guess not. Put it back.
Do you just want me to redraw?
Yeah.
redraw.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I really like
I
that
wanted
movie,
to
too.
watch that too because I haven't seen it. I saw the first one.
Oh God. Armageddon.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
What's
Should
that?
just stuck with
Burn
it.
it.
Burn it now.
Poof. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, guys. Armageddon.
You suck.
You
He
son
probably
of a
does.
We
bitch.
should have just done Blade Runner so that we could eventually.
Man,
If you love Aerosmith, you will love this movie.
I thought I'd
Yeah.
never have to watch that movie ever again. Who
Ben
put that in
Affleck,
there?
Liv Tyler, Bruce Willis.
If you guys don't like the movie, then
Steve
why'd you put it on the
Buscemi.
list?
Because it's
It's
Michael
not,
Clark
it's not that-
Duncan.
oh, Steve Buscemi is in it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
He
all right.
rides the
Yeah.
nuke. Come on, man. There are good parts
There
about
are
this
good.
movie.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're
Armageddon, baby.
Right. Steve Buscemi is the only reason I'm in it. Okay, I'm in it to win it
Alright.
now.
You guys good now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I,
We got
I-
it out of our
I had to-
system.
I had to talk her down. Like, hold on, dude. Steve Buscemi,
Yep. I'm
Okay.
back in.
Bruce Willis,
All
Michael
right,
Clark
all right,
Duncan.
I'm back in.
Okay. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, not Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and of course our YouTube. Please like, comment, and share with your friends, not your family because screw them, right? We also have an email.
I like
if
my
you would like
family.
fuck you, Joseph.
to-
Your
We
family,
al-
too.
Maybe
Yeah.
you should write that down.
Or you just.
Yeah, Karen, maybe you should type it
Yeah.
out.
Karen.
I said I like my family. She's the one
You
adding.
didn't type it out, though.
Do you like them or love them?
Do I have to write a fucking script?
Yes.
I agree with Karen. Does she have to write it? You should already know what to say. Keep going.
We also have an email if you would like to contact us that way. Why would they want to contact us?
If they have questions or they want to talk to us or
Or
Some
Is there
people don't
ants?
feel comfortable like putting comments on, public platforms. So if they feel more comfortable sending an email, then they
Yeah.
can.
Right, exactly.
Okay, cool. It's the Bonsai Movie Crew at gmail.com.
Basic.
We
Basic ass
would
shit.
love to hear
Basic.
from you, and don't
She
forget
said at the
about
beginning, I
our
was
TikTok,
just-
Oh.
Facebook, and Twitter.
Basic.
We're basic bitches.
We love you guys.
It's not
so
actually the
much.
email. It's the bonsai movie crew at gmail.com. It's not the basic. Just saying.
Gotta add it.
Love your family, love us. We're gay.
What?
Happy gay, Dad. Jeez.
Oh.
Anyways.
Anyway, sign us out.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Have a good
Bye.
day.
You too. Bye.
Sacrifice your children.
Why?
It turned off again.
Hit the button.
Oh my God. See what I mean? Sacrifice your kids.
Yeah, hit the button.
It's so hard.
Spacebar.